What up, world? You already know what time it is. Your boy Matt Mizzle, the most never need to brag no more. So all we ever did was give a toast to the real folks who done paved the way in the real way. Was players to play. Parlay this great game that we got for y'all today. God for everybody out there doing their thug thizzle. Your boy Matt Mizzle up in the spizzle. Let me ask you guys a question. Y'all really give a shit? Diddy gets caught. Did you see that shit? Salute Outlaws happening. Salute. He got caught with some Hootch at Fort Dix, right? But he just got into jail, so I'm like, is he not drugged up where he can't stop drinking, stop doing whatever he'd be doing? I'll say, I'll put the link up in there. You want to come up and chop it up? Yeah, man, we gotta talk about this all out. This shit is funny as hell, dog. You know what I'm saying? This nigga Puffy don't even have the wherewithal to just keep it cool for a bit. He's out there drinking Hootch right when he got to Fort Dix. So you among, I never understood it. You amongst a bunch of men, and then you want to start drinking alcohol. When you get all drunk and shit, you just be doing whatever. This nigga Diddy. Salute, my brother, Soldier Laurent in the building. Yeah, man, y'all hit the link, man. We chop it up.
Hit that like button. Queen Puff.
Yo, outlaw, you see this nigga, dog? Yo, what's wrong with him, bro? Crazy, dog.
Dude, this is what I be talking about with Cino. Like, I was like, Cino be like, man, he's smart. You know what I'm saying? Puffy would never allow himself to be in that position. You see what I'm saying? Over and over again. I be trying to tell y'all, man, he don't be moving smart like that. You know what I'm saying? He's not no saint, man.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't wish jail on nobody, and rightfully so, but at the same time, the man is not no saint, man. But he be getting caught, man.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but it's like
there's nothing wrong with it. But it's not smart. You just started. It's not smart. It's not. Sometimes he be moving, you know what I'm saying? Doesn't move right.
He don't move right. No.
I mean, just like how when Biggie and Puffy was out there 6 months after Pac passed away, you shouldn't be in LA. You don't move smart like that. You know what I'm saying? That was dumb. But not to bring that up, but it's just like, man, that's crazy, man. You just started. And you out here, saying that, oh, it's a threat out for my life and everything like that. And, you trying to put that out there to try to get your sentence reduced, you know what I'm saying, to get out earlier. And then you out here messing up already? That's crazy, man.
Already. So you had no remorse.
At all.
You think that is all fun and games. That's what's Puffy's thing. He really thinks he's the Joker. I think he thinks he's the Joker. And he be walking around the jail. Like, yo.
Yeah, he's running. From what I'm hearing, he's running things because he got the bag, man. Allegedly.
But yo, let's check this video out.
Hi, man. I'm gonna be here for a little bit. I had to come through real quick, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Salute for stopping by.
Yes, sir.
You know how we do.
Gotta come through in the Mac Mizzle show sometimes, you know what I'm saying?
Tell you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Because I myself spent time at Fort Dix. Sure. Let's talk about Sean P. Diddy Combs. Seen right here. A photo taken from him inside Fort Dix prison. Breaking news, folks. The reports are coming out that he got caught drinking while in prison. Oh boy, oh boy. But guess what, folks? I 100% believe it was a ploy, and I'll explain why. First, I want to give you the report about him being caught with moonshine, prison hooch. I'm going to share this report by the Daily Mail, and then I'll share why I think it was a ploy. Check it out. All right, this is a report coming out by the Daily Mail. Diddy caught drinking moonshine in prison after telling judge he is sober. Diddy was allegedly caught drinking homemade prison moonshine despite insisting to a judge that he is sober. The disgraced rap mogul, real name Sean Combs, was reportedly spotted boozing at Fort Dix in New Jersey, where he's serving time for his prostitution convictions. Sources told TMZ that Combs was caught with alcohol made from Fanta, sugar, and apples, which had been left to ferment for weeks. Authorities initially considered moving the 55-year-old to a new facility, but decided against it, according to the source. It comes after Combs repeatedly told the court during his high-profile trial that he was sober for the first time. Images which emerged last week offered the first glimpse of the rapper in prison. This photo that you see on the left. And I'll explain more about the photo because I was at Fort Dix myself. I know everything about the prison Diddy's at. The usually well-maintained producer was spotted with a scraggly beard and gray hat while he chatted with other inmates. Prior to sentencing, Combs told the judges time in prison allowed him a newfound clarity as he blamed substances for having lost his way. All right, so we got caught drinking in prison at Fort Dix. But folks, I was at Fort Dix, and let me explain to you a little bit about Fort Dix, the prison Diddy's at. All right, I myself have spent time at Fort Dix. I can tell you everything about federal FCI, massive complex. Actually, two complexes, 3,000 people on both sides. I find this highly unlikely that a guard just happened to stumble upon Sean P. Diddy Combs drinking. Why? It's because these are dorms there at Fort Dix. There's 3 levels. There's 3 levels. And I can tell you firsthand by being there is inmates guard the stairway. And there's only 1 guard per unit. So there's about 300 inmates on a 3-story building. It's like the housing projects. There's dorms there, and each dorm holds about 12 bunk beds, and they're all scattered through the floors. Now, the very first floor really is just TV rooms and places where people stand and congregate before they go out, get released to go out to lunch and rec yard and whatnot. So there's nobody staying on the first floors. They're all staying on the 2nd and 3rd floors of the units. And I can tell you firsthand that those 2nd and 3rd floor units are wild, crazy. Cell phones, playing cards and games in the rooms all night, drinking, making types of foods and selling them. It's like a big party on those 2nd and 3rd floors where Diddy is at, where he was at. I don't know where he's at now. But folks, there's inmates that guard those stairwells. Specifically, they get paid to guard the stairwells. And when the guard makes his rounds from the first floor, they go up the stairs, whether to do count, but they almost never go up the floors unless only for count. But they don't just go around, walking around. And when they do, the inmates warn the other inmates. What's going on? Woo, woo, 5-0. Woo, 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 5-0. And if you're doing a criminal activity or illegal stuff, whether it's gambling, doing drugs, drinking, you'll know. Have a cell phone, you will know. So Diddy, the report says a guard just happened to catch him drinking. No, folks. No, that's not what it is. What it is Diddy's trying to get into RDAP, Residential Drug Treatment Program, right? He's trying, and his scheduled time is years out. But if he takes RDAP, he can get 1 year off the sentence, including 6-month halfway house. The problem with Diddy is he wanted to go to Fort Dix specifically for the RDAP, but he ran into an obstacle here. Waiting list. There's there's probably a long waiting list. And sometimes the waiting lists go out a year. He can't wait a year. So what sometimes inmates do as a ploy to expedite the process to get into RDAP is purposely get caught drinking. So when they go in front of DHO, the disciplinary board, they can claim they have a substance abuse problem. Now, the DHO doesn't take good time away for people that get caught drinking. They will take some privileges away, whether it's a month of commissary, but it doesn't matter at Fort Dix because people will give them stuff anyway, just like they gave them probably all this, outfits and whatnot. But they'll recommend a substance abuse program. He can cry and complain that he has a drug and drinking problem and I need to go in RDAP. His lawyers probably put him up to this. His lawyers probably
strategy. Okay.
Put him up into going and drinking purposely right in front of the guard to get caught. We can get home quicker. That's how it works. Now, as far as this leaked footage of him, inmates all over Fort Dix have cell phones. They have cell phones. They rent out cell phones. You could get a cell phone, right? Smuggled in, and people bring them in, usually through the drones. The drones drop the cell phones in the rec yard, right? People are outside and they come in drones, or sometimes corrupt guards will help smuggle them in. Sometimes people sneak them in visitation, but that's too risky. But once they get phones, they take pictures. They FaceTime all the time. They sell phone minutes. For a pack of tuna, you could talk on the phone for 30 minutes. Someone there, an inmate, took a picture of Diddy for sure, because there's phones all over the place. But that's what's going on at Fort Dix, folks. And, he just wasn't drinking in front of the guard. How come no other guard, or how come no other inmates are disciplined for moonshine like he had? No, it's because his lawyers told him to do it this route. I've seen it all the time. He needs RDAP. RDAP will get him out early, get him out a year early. I said, folks, that he could possibly get out as early as next year if he takes the RDAP. He gets a year off, 2028. It's like May 2028, right? That's when his time is for now. If he takes RDAP, it will take him down to May 2027. 6 months halfway house, it'll take him the beginning of November 2026. Once he gets to the halfway house, he only had to be there like a week or two, and you can already get furloughs, and you can go home for the holidays. And I said this, and I tweeted this out numerous times. Diddy, it is a possibility Diddy will hit the streets by Thanksgiving of next year, at least in a halfway house where he's home on furloughs. Thanksgiving and Christmas, and eventually you're in the halfway house for about a month or two, and then you can stay home for good until you complete the sentence. He's trying to get that year off. But he has to claim he has a substance abuse problem to justify RDAP or get on the top of the list, get ahead of everyone on the waiting list. And that's exactly what he did in this case, for sure. Don't believe the hype, folks. I've been to Fort Dix. It was an okay prison. It's okay, but I'd rather have been in a higher security because it is complete chaos there in those dorms. You can't get sleep. People are doing all types of crazy stuff. Inmates, homosexuality, all types of crazy stuff goes on in there. Man, it is wild. It's a big party. No one really taking it seriously. Like, if you want to do time, plus they got weights there. They got weights. They got a big rec yard. Guards are not in your business. Guards stay downstairs, one guard per unit. They're not going around looking to bust people. They go up there on the top floor specifically for an emergency, maybe to do a round or for a count. That is it. So I wanted to give you the 411. Let me know what you think. Sub to the channel, like, hit the notification button. Continuous coverage of Sean P. Diddy Combs serving his time at Fort Dix, place that I've been to. Don't brag about it. Made mistakes, but I've been there. I know everything about Fort Dix. Trust me. We'll talk soon. JLR Investigates. Stay tuned.
Yeah, I think he has a point still. You got
okay, so it probably was a strategy. Was a strategy. Did it in front of the guards so he could get that. Like I said, if he's right, he's right. You know what I'm saying? That would make it more simple for them to put him in the program and be like, listen, I got a problem. I want to get in the program. You know what I'm saying? And you use the program so you can get an extra year off so you could be home by probably, like he said, next year, Thanksgiving. So we got to wait to see, basically.
Why would he just start drinking like that? Like, and they're in
Right.
dorms too, so you don't really see. You know what I'm saying?
Maybe the lawyer probably said, like, listen, if you do this, you'll probably get out faster. You know what I'm saying? So that's probably what he did. Because that's stupid if you get caught like that. So if
Yeah.
now, I mean, listen, if he did do it like that, and if the lawyer did try to sneak him and try to say, like, listen, if you want to get out faster, you're gonna have to probably drink in front of the CEOs. They gotta have to catch you. Then they'll be like, listen, you got a problem. You have to admit that. Listen, I have a problem. I need to get into this program and stuff. And then they put you in the program, and they give you a year off and stuff out of, if you complete the program and stuff and say, like, listen, I'm progressing, I'm getting better, and then boom, you can get out earlier. So he's trying to do anything to get out. So if that's what the lawyers probably try to put out there to do, then boom, he probably just did it. And for him to get caught and it went national and everybody was talking about it, so then it makes it seem like, yeah, he does have a problem, we got to put him on a program. So it's just basically forcing his way into the program if that is the case, So we're gonna have to wait to see. I still think he's done though.
That's crazy though. Just because you got a drug problem, they'll let you out earlier. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because
That
if
seems
you're
kind of weird.
completing a program,
Or
you're trying to show that you're trying to get better. So they show some
that's
sympathy if you complete programs and that you're doing the right things and showing that you're trying to be a better person and stuff and not go back to your old ways and your old habits and stuff. So that's basically how you do it. You gotta try to play the system in a way. You know what I'm saying? So that's what a lot of people do.
right. And he was doing this little.
And Puffy always plays the
He was
system,
doing a
so he's
little
known for
program
that.
before that, helping the inmates.
Yep.
One whatever.
Plays the system. He's really
Yeah.
good at when it comes to playing the system, giving out bad contracts, you know what I'm saying? Playing on people, you know what I'm saying? So, that's in his ballpark. So, he could definitely do that.
Yeah. If you trying to do that to get out earlier, that shit ain't gonna work.
I mean, from what he's saying, from the video of what he's saying, I mean, it seemed like a lot of people actually do that.
But they gonna look at it like, yo, he's on more.
Now, if he don't come home by next year of Thanksgiving, if the year doesn't come off, then shoot, he fucked. My bad, he messed up. So all this is just for nothing. But like I said, this is gonna be a waiting game because I gotta see if this is really what it is, Because lawyers do, have loopholes and they will tell you what to do and what not to do. And if you really want to get home, this is probably what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? So this is actually a loophole to get home.
It is a loophole, but it's like so. Anybody that get caught with hooch can say, "Yo, I have a drinking problem," and get
Yeah, I know.
earlier. Like it's like I don't know.
You gotta kind of play the system. And that's why I feel like
He probably
I mean,
played
if
because he's
I
saying,
think
"Oh, I haven't been sober for over 20 years, so
right.
you relapse type shit." So.
Exactly. And that he needs help. And that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna try to provide him help, get him into that particular one
And
that
he's like,
gets him
"Yo,
out
I'm not
earlier.
gonna win on appeal." Say that again.
I know, I'm just saying, like, he probably used that as a ploy to try to get into that specific program that would get him out earlier that he couldn't get in, if he
Yeah.
was just silver and stuff like that. So he probably had to get caught, so that's what I'm saying. So we're gonna have to see if whatever that video the white guy just said, like, you know what I'm saying, if it's true, then it's true. We're gonna see if that really works. But Puffy, he's trying to get home by any means necessary. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to get out. So
please be sure to subscribe to this channel and hit the bell for notifications so you don't miss out on any news regarding this case and so much more. Now let's get back into it. So your boy Sean P. Diddy Combs was caught drinking homemade alcohol at Fort Dix Prison this week, breaking the sobriety commitment he made to a judge just weeks ago before receiving his sentence. This incident landed him in trouble with prison officials who initially planned disciplinary action before reversing their decision. Sources with knowledge of the situation confirmed that Diddy possessed homemade alcohol inside the low-security New Jersey facility where he's currently serving time. The contraband beverage was created using a common prison recipe, including Fanta, sugar, and apples that inmates allowed to ferment for approximately 2 weeks until it becomes alcoholic. Diddy has been there a total of 9 days, so something tells me they was planning this concoction just for him to set that ass up.
Yeah,
Remember?
You've been planning this all day.
I've been planning it all week, son.
They probably set him
He
up.
wanted to go to Fort Dix because it's one of the more comfortable and safer federal prisons you can end up in. It's low security, it's in New Jersey, which means it's not filled with violent offenders, and he has more of a relaxed setup compared to tougher prisons. It's also close to New York, which is close to his family, and the lawyers could visit him easily. Plus, Fort Dix offers programs like RDAP, which can actually help inmates cut time off their sentence if they qualify. On top of that, the prison has business and vocational programs, and for someone like Diddy, that's a way to show rehabilitation and stay productive. So really, Fort Dix checked every box. It's a safer environment, closer to home, and a better shot at shaving time off his sentence. However, Diddy got there, and in less than a week,
I had a ball.
So prison officials discovered the alcohol and initially planned moving Diddy from his current unit to a new one as punishment for the violation. However, 2 sources confirmed that prison officials have now reversed the decision, allowing the music mogul to remain in his original housing unit. Now, this incident marks a significant departure from the sobriety narrative Diddy presented to the court prior to his sentencing last month. He emphasized to the judge that he had been sober for the first time in 25 years, acknowledging that substances has caused him to lose his way. Now, in Diddy's letter to the judge, he wrote that the old version of himself had died in jail, while a new version was reborn, adding that prison either changes a person or destroys them, and he chose to live. So the judge obviously did not fall for it, and even told Diddy, "I do not feel like you've changed very much," and he ended up giving him 50 months in a federal prison. So a lot of people felt like Diddy got off easy. However, Diddy said, "I'm not letting this go." His team did not waste any time, and they ended up filing an appeal, challenging the conviction and the sentence. And instead of letting it drag out for months like most cases do, a judge said, "Okay, we'll move forward and we'll move this along faster." That doesn't mean Diddy's winning this case. It just means that the appeal will be reviewed sooner rather than later. Normally, it could take 6 months to a year to get on the court's calendar, but now Diddy's case will get priority. So the appeals judge basically told both sides, no delays, no excuses, get your paperwork in, and that means Diddy's lawyers have a short deadline to file their written arguments, and the government has a set time to respond. And once that's done, the appeals court can decide if they want to hear oral arguments or rule based on the filing. So with Diddy's team arguing that he deserves a new trial or a lighter sentence, Diddy is out here breaking prison rules, especially something like drinking or being caught with contraband. That paints him as someone who's not following orders or taking accountability. It doesn't directly cancel his appeal, but it hurts how he's perceived by the Bureau of Prisons, the prosecutors, and even the appellate judges reviewing his case. The appeal itself will still move forward. The court won't throw it out just because of his disciplinary issue, but what will happen is that the government can use his behavior against him to argue that he has not changed, he doesn't deserve leniency, he doesn't deserve early release or a sentence reduction. And if they did ever consider him for the RDAP program to shorten his time, that privilege could now be taken off the table. In short, Diddy's appeal will still go through the legal process, but this incident makes it a whole lot harder for his lawyers to convince anyone that he's learned his lesson or is being unfairly treated. Judges notice everything, and breaking the rules in custody does not help your case at all, especially when the world is already watching. So photographs showed Diddy appearing comfortable in the Fort Dix prison yard last week, suggesting he had adjusted to life behind bars. He appeared to be the life of the party in those images, laughing and smiling while conversing with his fellow inmate.
Always the
Casual
love of the
social
life of the
scenes.
party.
They're gonna use that picture
Yep, of
when
course.
that comes up.
I mean, he's just smiling though. He's not doing nothing criminal though.
No, but they're gonna be like, "Oh, you just look like you're having a grandiose time there, bud."
I mean, you can't just like take a picture and be like, oh man, he's just happy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's supposed to look
Yeah.
sad and mad. Nah, like, they if there's no proof or anything. Listen, I don't like Puffy, but nah, you can't do that though.
Bro,
I mean, he's
they
just smiling though.
use anything they could use, bro. Especially
Nah, that's true. But that's like, all right, but Mac Music, that's like you just randomly outside and you talking to somebody and somebody say something funny and then you end up smiling and then boom, they take a picture and then be like, oh, see, this picture is look, you know what I'm saying? So you can't really do that, bro. Like if he had the bottle in his hand and he was drinking, then boom, then they could use that in the court. But if you just smiling, you know what I'm saying? Somebody just snaps a picture at you, then boom, then you can't prove nothing or anything because he's smiling. He's not supposed. So you saying he can't smile? So I can't do that.
Prison, you're supposed to be mad.
No, I know he's supposed to be mad, depressed, and sad and everything. Like, nah, man, you gotta talk to people, and people gonna say something funny, then you gonna end up smiling or laughing. It's natural reaction.
That's true.
Yup.
Yeah, man. This nigga Diddy, man, he messed up. I hope he gets out earlier than later because I want to see.
Listen, like I said, I don't wish jail on nobody, but like I said, I feel like he got hit with karma, in my opinion.
He did.
Yeah. His reputation took a hit. People got to see the real Puffy, who he really is and stuff. So that was the only thing I wanted to accomplish for people to actually see the real Puffy, and that got exposed. So that's what I'm happy about. But no, I don't want to see him in jail or anything like that. I don't wish jail on nobody, unless I don't wish jail on nobody. That's it. So
I'd rather street justice hit him than anything else.
Yeah, for sure. Or somebody that's being a predator or something like that. Then that's when somebody deserves to be in prison and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I mean, it's always different levels to who deserves to be in prison, who doesn't, But there's a lot of innocent people, a lot of innocent brothers in there for sure that didn't do nothing and they just got to reap the benefit.
Remember that dude, Shakur Stewart? He was like an intern.
Shakur Stewart.
He ended up having an affair with Kim.
Kim Porter?
Yeah.
And what, like he like basically
he ended up taking his own life, committing suicide.
Oh, for real? Oh yeah, I think I do remember that. So he mysteriously knocked himself out.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Mysteriously. Yeah, like I said, man, I feel like he's getting hit with karma, bro. Like that whole Kim Porter situation allegedly is suspect. Yeah, that I feel like that shit was a little suspect myself, because pneumonia, and then you know what I'm saying, that could definitely be homemade and stuff like that, how people could do it, and that's just how it is. And he's a control freak. And it's just like, come on, like Mac Mizzle, if you have all these people coming out and saying nothing but bad things about you, do you think he's really a good person?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like all these people came out and said, man, Puffy's not a good guy. I had this situation, that situation. Like this man is not good. You know what I'm saying?
At him.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying, man. Like, and people's been trying to come out, but it was like, man, he was just too powerful at the time. If you would have came out and say something, he would just blackball you out the game, or tell people that he mess with, don't mess with you, and then you're out the loop and out the game and stuff like that because he has too much alliance and too much allegiance to people that are powerful. So now that he got knocked off, then everybody was like, okay, now we could say something.
If he was so powerful, how did he get knocked off like that?
Because he messed with the wrong people. He messed with
Who
the
he
wrong
messed with?
people that had bigger money than him and bigger
He messed with
power
Cassie.
than him.
Cassie brought him down. It was
Yeah,
the
Cassie
Cassie.
brought him down, but Cassie had the people that he messed with. They allegedly, intertwined with itself and basically came together and said, "Listen, we taking him down. We
Cassie
need you."
started it, and then she went to authorities or something like that. And
Nah, it just doesn't
well,
happen like that. It doesn't happen like that. He pissed off that liquor company. That's a multi-billion-dollar liquor company, and he pissed them off and
the
tried to
liquor
expose
company.
them. Yeah, I feel like it. I feel like it was the liquor company. See, he over
Did
here
he,
thought
did
he
he
had.
already get a settlement from that though?
Yeah, he got a settlement, but he made them look bad though. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to these
Oh, so it was
business,
like a retaliation.
yeah. See, listen, the business side is
Mm.
different. Like they play a whole different ball game, especially when they got money. Now you killed off their reputation and called them racism and everything. So now you're trying to dry up their money and stuff. So they're like, "Oh, word, we know people that's in the feds." So the feds, they basically raided this man Puffy. So like I said, these people have multi-billion dollar and they have a lot of connections. So he messed with people that actually messed with people that had connections in the Fed. So that's why they invaded him. And he's just a billionaire. You know what I'm saying? He's not a multi-billionaire. So it was basically draining his pockets, and that's what they're doing. So that's
That's
kind
not.
of what it is, man. You gotta pick and choose your battles wisely, and you gotta move smart.
You gotta call out racism. Well,
Yeah, listen, they might have been racist. You know what I'm saying? They might have been racist, but you chose to mess with them and you chose to try to make their brand bigger and stuff like that. And you didn't like how you was getting dealt with. And you tried to expose them and sue them and got a settlement. And so they felt the type of way. And so they made a connection to try to destroy you. Like, oh, word, you doing that to us? All right, say less. We coming back at you. And that's what they probably did. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. And it was like, oh, okay. And Cassie, you did Cassie wrong? Okay, we're gonna call up Cassie. We're gonna get all these other people, Tony Buzzley, we're gonna get him involved as well, too. And boom, that's where all the lawsuits came out. And then that's why they had all these tapes and all these, you know what I'm saying, situations happen because they work with the feds. You know what I'm saying? These are not no gangsters or anything like that. These are corporate people. So they're gonna automatically go to the feds, you know what I'm saying? And use their connections. Listen, the business is a whole different monster. It's a whole different monster. It's very cutthroat. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
it's just-
Jay-Z, he does well when it comes to business because he's a snake. So it's a lot of snake. It's a lot of snake business that goes on.
Jay-Z's a snake. Why are you figure
Yeah,
that?
Jay-Z's a snake.
Why you say that? What?
Come on, Mac Mizzle. You know Jay-Z a snake, man. You know how many people that man snaked out and stole their style and stole this and you know what I'm saying, just to make himself bigger, man. Like that man is a snake, man. Like multiple times.
Oh, you
I
think
mean,
he?
look what he did to Dame Dash. Dame Dash is the one that put him in the game, like made him big because this man was not even considered. Like people was just like every time he went to a label, they was like no. Everybody said no. That's why he's petty to this day. Like everybody was like not messing with him. They was like nah. Dame Dash is the one that really got him on. You know what I'm saying? That really put him to that standpoint. And even his first album didn't sell. But it took until Biggie and Tupac to pass away
Man,
for
you
people
gotta
to
say that. You hear what?
nah, it took
He
a
said
year
that
for
mark
that
of the plan was
reasonable
me.
doubt to pop. Bro, do you know Tupac and Biggie was alive? Nobody was just checking for no Jay-Z at that time.
Jay-Z had
That
a truck with Biggie still. Brooklyn's finest there. That shit was
Yeah,
still.
because he was trying to ride the coattail of Biggie because Biggie was the hot star at the time, but nobody in the West Coast knew who Jay-Z was until Tupac said his name after he passed away. But Pac was doing like 5 million. He did 6 million in sales. He did 6 million sales. You had Biggie that did 2 million or 3 million and stuff, but he was dropping classic albums. You know what I'm saying? So Jay-Z was not a like you had Nas. Like Nas was doing this thing too. So Nas was, he was battling with Biggie and stuff like that. And Nas actually went in front of Biggie because he dropped that Illmatic and then Stillmatic. So people was like, oh man, this man Nas. You know what I'm saying? So Biggie had to drop his next album and stuff, but nobody was talking about no Jay-Z. Jay-Z was just trying to ride the coattail like how he did with DMX and the Rough Riders and stuff. And that's who really made him pop as well, too. So Jay-Z didn't get popping until probably the
Jay-Z, what, the
90s.
Murder Inc. thing that they had going on? That shit was on?
Yeah, not Murder Inc., but Rough Riders. Remember when the whole the dun, 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 like,
Yeah, Rough Riders, but before that, they had the Murder Inc.
remember his first big hit was with Ja
Jay-Z,
Rule.
DMX, and Ja Rule. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yup. So so you remember Jay-Z's first big break was Ja Rule's song that he had and gave it to Jay-Z was what was the song that they had on Rush Hour? Yeah, it was damn, what was that song called?
Jay-Z knows his own.
Can I get a what with it done and then the done can I get a woo? Yeah, that song.
Nas 50.
Can I get a what? That's the song. Can I get a what? That was a Ja Rule song, but Ja Rule gave it to Jay-Z, and Jay-Z took that, and that was his first biggest hit. And so that's why I say he had to write coattails. Tupac ain't had to write nobody's coattail. Biggie didn't have to ride nobody's coattail. Like they was just natural. All right, if they did have to ride somebody's coattail when Tupac went to Digital Underground, okay, cool. But then when he went on his own, he made his own records. He had Brenda's Had a Baby. He had the I Get Around. He had the, you know what I'm saying, the keep your head up and stuff like that.
Baby. Brenda's belly got
a brain, but damn shame the girl could hardly spell a name. Well, let me tell you how this fixes our community. You know what I'm saying? But then you have Biggie as well too. Like he just came out the gates and he came out with the bars and everything, and then Give Me the Loot, and then he had what was it? Party and Bullshit. He had Party and Bullshit. So it's just like, you know, that wasn't his biggest hit, but you know, it was buzzing in the streets, and they were like, "Damn, who is this?" You know what I'm saying? So
I mess with Dame and I mess with Dre. You know,
what Dre?
Because
Dr. Dre.
I mess with Dame Dash.
Oh, Jay.
Crazy because at the end of the day, man, these guys came up together. They built a dynasty. You know?
They didn't really come up together, but they did build a dynasty for sure. You know what I'm saying? But Dame was the business guy that
top for hip hop.
Yeah.
That was one of the top labels. You know?
Yeah, but DMX was in his way. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to DMX. He was the hottest artist. Dropped 2 back-to-back #1.
DMX is good, but I'm talking about like hustler music, chilling.
Man, you know DMX was #1 at that time, man. DMX was the person that dominated 98 and 99. And then Eminem, no, you can't say
right up there though. Look, Jay-Z was doing it for 2.
Jay-Z, listen,
it's kind of like LeBron in that sense, you know.
Yeah, he's highly overrated, like LeBron James. That's exactly who I compare him to, LeBron James. He's the rapper. He's the basketball rap of LeBron James for sure. Highly overrated, for sure. That man Jay-Z came in '97.
Say word.
And DMX came in '98 and completely took over. Then '99 was Eminem. Then 2000s was probably
he has a classic album, which is Reasonable Doubt.
Does he have no, it's a classic album. I would never deny. Like I do love Reasonable Doubt for sure. Like Reasonable Doubt was definitely that classic album for sure. I would never deny that, because that, if I'm saying that, I don't know hip hop. That was a classic album. But at the time when it dropped in '96, nobody was checking for that in '96. It didn't sell. It did not sell at all. Because why? Tupac and Biggie was around, and Nas was on fire. So nobody was checking for no Jay-Z at the time. So it took a year for people to be like, "Oh, okay, let me check this out." Then that's when it went gold. It didn't sell.
Life is when Jay-Z won that grind.
That was '99, but '99 that's when Eminem. '99 was when Eminem was big. '99 Eminem was taking over, and '99. Like everybody was Eminem melt, TRL blowing up Eminem. So that they had the whole agenda with Eminem. 98 DMX, back to back #1 albums. They was not checking for no Jay-Z at that time. Rough Riders was on fire in 98.
Check.
2001, Ja Rule. And then Ja Rule probably in 2002. And in 2003, 50 Cent took over. And in 2004, 50 Cent took over again. 2005, probably it started simmering down. Then Kanye West started taking over. And then it just went on from there. But Jay-Z didn't really have an era. He really didn't. Like, he's not that dude the way how he be making it sound. All right, so what era did Jay-Z have?
97 all the way to 2005. That's
97? Come on, man.
Yeah,
he didn't have a #1. DMX had two #1s back to back.
Listen, he had his own label, bro. That's all that matters.
No, he didn't have his own label. That was Dame Dash that had that.
2001, he put out his Blueprint on September 11th.
All right, so we're gonna forget about Nelly that went diamond. Nelly went diamond in 2001, right?
Yeah, Nelly could have went diamond. That's all good.
So basically, Nelly had a little, you know what I'm saying? He had that year as well too. Nelly went diamond in 2001, and then Ja Rule was taking over 2002 and 2001 as well too.
Jay-Z was killing the. It's not the same, bro. It was an independent grind.
No, I respect that. I respect that.
And then
but you got to say the same thing with Murray.
Def Jam, like they did this shit.
Yeah, no, for sure. I would never deny Rockefeller. Rockefeller was definitely good, but I'm not saying Jay-Z's that.
Dame was a good leader too.
Dame was a good leader, but he had an ego though. That was the only problem with Dame. Like Dame would try to belittle other people that are now big now. Yeah, remember. All right, listen. You know the secondaries that was back then. Now they're actually, big, and on the labels and stuff like that. They're actually, bigger in the companies. So of course they're not going to help Dame out because Dame was treating them like crap at the time. You know what I'm saying? Calling all them culture vultures and stuff like that. So now, now they're in power. They're not going to help Dame out.
For real, Dame wasn't lying. Was he lying?
He wasn't lying. But listen, everybody don't forget what you did to them when they was lower and you was on top at the time.
From the music business, he's still doing his thing.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was but look what Jay-Z did. He snaked them out. Jay-Z snaked them out, bro.
Jay-Z didn't snake them out, bro.
Man, Dame Dash would tell you that he snaked them out.
Jay-Z was watching a little something, this and that, yeah.
Leon Rose got in that air, and basically
shit like that, and he's like, "Yo,"
he snaked out Colin Kaepernick. He said, "Listen, we're not needing no more."
And then Thing took the bait.
Come on, Mac.
Stole some money or something like that.
See, Mac. So, Mac, you were going business with Jay-Z. You trust Jay-Z to go in business with?
Hell yeah.
Oh my God! See, you're gonna be the next victim. Mac Mills is a victim. Man, Jay's gonna be like, man, take that deal, man. That's gonna be a good deal for you. And then as soon as y'all get into business, then he gonna snake you out, and you're gonna be stuck in that whole contract. And then he gonna be like, I sold my share.
What do you say? Bron's a rock boy. Kanye's a billion. Kanye's a rock boy. He got a billionaire.
And he don't even talk to Kanye no more.
Rihanna's a rock girl. She got $1 billion.
And they're not even connected no more.
Of course they are. What are you talking? Come on.
You think Kanye West is connected to Jay-Z?
Hell yeah.
Hell no, they're not connected no more. Jay-Z can't even talk to Kanye no more.
Because Kanye don't want to take his meds, but Kanye just apologized. Jay-Z will talk to him. They made millions.
Man,
They made millions together. Come on, bro.
Mac, man.
They
You
ain't
gotta
on
be
no.
careful, man. You gotta read the signs, man. You gotta see what everybody's saying. Look what he did to Benny Singles. He left him out to dead as well too.
He
All he
did
needed
it,
to do was
bro.
show up in court and said, like, listen, man, he didn't do
Stop
none
it.
of that.
Stop it.
Come on,
Yo,
man.
listen,
You know these
hold
he
on.
used all them Philly
Reading,
dudes. He used all them Philly dudes, used them up, used the young
watching
guns up
too
as
many
well
of
too.
them niggas' videos, dog. Don't believe the hype, bro.
Man, listen.
Yo,
If everybody's saying that
man.
about you,
Release
man,
on your
listen.
own reconnaissance. You know what? You know what that means? R&R.
Hmm.
Release on your own reconnaissance. He doesn't want to be responsible for a dude that's doing this thing out in the streets, but still in the game. And Jay
It's
Z
called
trying to
La
get,
Familia.
nah, bro.
If that's supposed to be your homie, that's supposed to be your
It is
guy.
not familiar, but you ain't gonna jeopardize the whole shit because
Nah, all you had to do was go in
you
there
want
and
to
just
be
basically
in the
say,
hood doing stupid shit.
all right, but
And look
check this
out,
out though. So,
Beanie
all
got
right, so
shot
when he,
after that 13 times and
okay,
messing around in Jersey. And
yeah, he was still in the streets. That's
you
true.
know, he's doing a lot of bullshit, bro. So you know,
That's
yeah,
true.
they was with him around, but you can't.
But my thing is
Stop
like,
trying to
listen,
mess up the bag, man. You gotta be more wise. This nigga Beanie was on top of the world. Yeah, all the shit going up for him. State property. Yeah, movies. He had all this shit going on.
but that's Dame though. That's not Jay Z. That's
That's not
Dame.
Jay Z.
That's
That's Jay Z
Dame.
too.
That's Dame. Now
That's not.
Jay Z approved of it as well too because Jay Z needed them at the time because he needed to use them at the moment. But at the time, that's Dame that basically got them. He was
The
trying to
state
put out,
property shit was Dame and Jay Z, bro. It was just
yeah.
you know.
But mostly like, listen, Dame is the businessman. He was the business guy.
No, but they had state property, the group, and they had the clothing line.
Yeah,
Clothing
but
line
shoot,
was
state
good.
the way how state property's talking, man, Jay Z was not really around like that. He was just using them guys. I'm telling you, he was just using them. Jay Z's a snake. I'm telling you.
Jay Z's the artist and the boss, right? How is it?
No, Jay Z's the
What do you
snake,
expect Jay
and
Z to
he's the
do?
artist.
Huh?
No, Jay
No,
Z.
no,
Listen,
listen. They split the company three ways. Jay Z's
okay,
the artist, and he's the third.
he's a CEO,
Co- what do
co-owner
you
of the
expect the man
company.
to do? Work, deal with the company, do all this shit together, and be the ambassador, the brand ambassador, the one that's talking to the and pushing his brand, like
So you telling me that Dame
end of the
Dash
day,
wouldn't tell you
bro,
that
you
Jay Z
can't
snaked
really.
him out?
Dame Dash he would say that, but I think in hindsight, he's looking at it like he did some foul shit too, bro. Because look at him, he's going at he's going at Cameron right now because he said Cameron when he looks back at it,
Mm-hmm.
Cameron shouldn't have said that he was the president of the Rock. He jumped out there and said it, So that kind of messed up relationship with him and Jay.
Because and then why he was trying to steal the song from Cameron though?
Huh?
I said why he tried to steal the song from Cameron though?
What's
The New York City Storm.
who? Jay-Z?
Yeah, Jay Z.
He ain't trying to steal no song from
Come
Cameron.
on, man.
Jay-Z is the 10 times bigger star than Cameron.
Oh, you see, that's the problem. That's the
Come on,
problem. That's the problem right there. You know what I'm saying?
better
Trying to
lyricist
strong
and
arm
all that.
artists because of your
You
status
think
and stuff.
Cameron can mess with Jay-Z?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying rightfully so. If somebody has a song and you trying to take the song and stuff like that, and you trying to bamboozle them and then be like, all right, I can't take the song, so I'll feature on them. and try to force your way into it. You know what I'm saying? Because you the bigger artist and everything. Because come on, man,
Anyway,
that's
all I
wrong. I
all I
can't
know is
get down with that.
Jay-Z is not them niggas' fathers. He has a business to run.
See,
Uh, sometimes shit go sour, but you can't tell me that he was just running the business to just. I made all this money with all these people.
nah, he's definitely the start. He was definitely the
Oh, but
first artist
you act
on.
like his name is no good. His name is great, dog. He's a
Nah,
millionaire.
listen, he's a legend. He's a legend, but I'm not gonna say like he did some snake
He's
stuff, man.
great. Dog. Like
He's a legend, but he definitely
they
did
want
some snake
they
stuff.
want
Remember, listen, remember this the
Jay-Z can't
song.
go back to the
Excuse
crib
me,
and
what's
all
your
this.
name?
Jay-Z,
That's Young Guns. That's the Young Guns song. He sold that from them. He took that from them.
hey,
Excuse me, what's your name?
yeah,
That's Young Guns. That's the Young Guns song, and he took that from them. And
yeah, he made
then
it a hot line. I made it a hot
see,
song.
that's the problem right there. See that? See what I'm saying?
Yo,
You just
them niggas, the young guns, right? They can go holler at Jay-Z if they want to.
man, they can't holler. They're not even gonna get his phone number. How you gonna holler at somebody that you can't even get in touch to?
They were
You know what I'm saying?
at the Rock Nation brunch,
He,
bro. They
he's
were
too
out
he's too good to be talked to. Remember?
there.
You can't contact him. Oh, he can't give you a feature. He's too good to give you a feature. You know what I'm saying? He has to do it on his time. You got to
Jay-Z
get
wasn't giving
blessed
us
to get
features
that
for free.
feature.
You don't know the real Jay-Z. Jay-Z never paid no. He never asked for no money for features, dog. He always gave
Oh
features.
yeah, I'll beg the difference.
I'm
Listen what
telling you,
Nas
that's when
said.
Jay-Z
You
came
was
up.
begging to. You heard what Nas said, right?
Anyway,
Yeah.
we gonna
See,
watch. We
see,
gonna look at a Dame
see.
Dash and his son Boogie break down Cameron's bullshit. Because Cameron was trying to say that Boogie, but he was trying to get Boogie some
Hey,
money.
hold on. Let's stick to the topic. Where's Jay? I thought Jay-Z's his homeboy. Why he ain't helping Puffy out? Why he ain't coming out and saying, "Man, Puffy's my god"?
They were never what?
They
Since
was
when they were
partying
homeboys?
together.
Because they take pictures together at events.
Oh man, you see what I'm saying?
Yo, my
That's
nigga,
crazy, man.
you have to know the game. Man. Listen, Jay Z and Biggie are from the same hood.
Man,
And
that don't mean nothing.
they don't mess
Why is
with
he?
them.
Why is he not backing
You're
this
gonna
man Puffy up right now?
you see Jay Z, he has his own squad. It's different now. Yeah.
Man, that man is a.
But yo,
I'm
let's
telling
check
you, he's a
this out.
snake. All right, go
This
ahead, man.
is like, shout out to
Good segue. Good segue, though.
all right. We're gonna see what's up. Response to Cameron lies. You remember Cameron said, "Oh, he was trying to get Boogie some money." They interview him to shit on his pops. Well, why would you do that? Why would you bring your kids into it? Ever since then, he called him Fredo. Rightfully so. He's Fredo ass nigga.
I hear that.
If you haven't already, press the subscribe button on American New Networks YouTube channel, and also download American New the Network. Lots of new announcements coming soon. But today, for Bosses Take Losses, I thought it would be great to kick it with my son, Boogie, my firstborn. What's up, Boogie?
Not much is going on.
Before we get into all the other stuff, I'm sure we want to address the elephant in the room.
Okay.
And we get that out the way. So through this Fredo shit, I can't even say homeboy's name confidently anymore, just based on how disappointed I am in his behavior. You called me and told me that he called you, or Larry called you,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll tell that, but the crazy thing is, I felt like it brought us closer together. You know, and the reason why I say that is because, you know, you've been on your own for about 10 years now. How long were you on your own for completely?
About 10 years, I would say.
And, you know, I felt like, you know, that was the best thing for you. For you to get out there and see what the real world was like. You know, you grew up in a different kind of environment than the average, to say the least. And, you know, I was your dad since you were born, but I got custody of you when you were 8. And, you know, all the Rockefeller stuff, I'm young. I think we were talking about it today. I had you when I was like 19. You were like my little brother.
Yeah.
You know? And I would never
Wait,
do
who's that? Quick question.
to another child again, take them from their mom. I know that was hard for you.
That's a
But at the time, I just felt like it was
Oh,
the
okay,
best.
so what is this about?
Nah, because remember when I got to give you the backstory. Cameron
Yeah, let me get the backstory.
said that his son, he wanted to get in contact with his son so he could do an interview with him talking about his pops, you know. And he
Oh,
paid him like
okay.
$1,000.
Oh, okay, got you. But what does
So
got to do with the Jay-Z? Oh, we get into the Jay-Z part?
Nah, this is the Dame Dash talking about Cameron part.
Nah, I need Dame Dash to be
What I'm
talking about
saying
Jay-Z.
what I'm saying is Jay-Z and Cameron, the reason why Rockefeller broke up is because Cameron said, I'm going to be the president of Rockefeller.
Nah, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
What happened was Jay-Z and Leon what's his name? Leon Coleman. Yeah, Leon Coleman basically got together and it was like, listen, we'll help you. We'll make you the president of Def Jam if you get rid of if you basically stake out Dame Dash. That's what happened.
Nah,
and then they had to split up.
He was already president of Def Jam.
No, he wasn't the president of Def Jam at that time. He was helping. He was grooming him. Nah, he wasn't the president at that time.
Yes, he was, bro.
He was still the artist.
Who? Where? He's his own artist. He was never a Def Jam artist.
No, he was a Def Jam. I mean, no, he was a part of Rockefeller, but he was making him the president of Def Jam, and he was trying to say, like, listen.
He was the president of Def Jam before they split up. You know what I'm saying? He was president of Def Jam.
You might be right. You might be right. I gotta look that up.
Yeah, but listen.
All right, go ahead.
This is a segue into why Jay-Z and him don't really, you know,
gotcha.
don't really mix, but it's because of Cameron. Because Cameron, even though he's cool and all that, he has his show and everything like that. He got his ways too, you know. So Dame is just
Cam definitely has his ways for sure. Yeah, he definitely does.
At it like,
I'm not saying he all innocent either, but Jay-Z's still a snake though.
But how can Jay-Z be a snake?
Man, that man snaked out so many. I could give you from the backstory.
Millionaires, bro. Think about it, bro.
That man snaked out Dame Dash. Listen, you can pull it up. Put up Dame Dash and Jay-Z. You pull that up, you gonna definitely see where Dame Dash tells you where Jay-Z snaked him out.
Dash really believed that, he would have never said that Cameron was the reason why these guys got into a fight. You know what I'm saying? So just listen, you know.
Okay, no, for sure. Go ahead, play it.
And you know, I've apologized. Yeah, I feel like I have, right?
Yeah.
And told you how I wish I could have approached that differently. I even apologized to your mother the other week.
I was surprised by that.
Well, you know, things are too good to be mad. You're alive, you're breathing, she loves you. We might not see eye to eye, but at the end of the day, you know, she made you. And regardless of whether I may approach things the same way, I know that she loves you more than life. And, would do anything she can, whether I think it's right or wrong, her brain is right. And I know it makes you uncomfortable to see your parents fight.
I'm used to it by now.
I know, and that's sad. I saw that you had got used to us fighting when you were a baby. You would detach. And that's why I had to change. But I can say this. Again, you've been on your own for like 10 years and you survived. And I think you have an appreciation of what life is and how hard it is to make money, be a man. Like, you understand my struggle every day, I think.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, when you called me, I was like, yo, you could have done some sucker shit, but why would you?
I wouldn't. I never would.
So the thing that bugged me out, and I want to teach you something of the rules of engagement from a dad to a son. There's a certain way you fight, There's like gentlemen and real warriors have a respect and a code of honor. And you fight a certain way. Number one, you never bring the kids into it. Or innocent bystanders, just certain bystanders. You just don't do that. You know what I mean? And I really hated the fact that Fredo got on TV and said you called him and asked him for money. And I don't know why he would want our family to appear like it's destitute in that way. But did you call him?
No, I never called him. Well, about that. I've only called him one other time, and that was just to try to get him some money.
Right.
But I actually spoke to Larry because I called him because Maribel was sick. And then that's when everything came up. So it was never about money.
Yep.
Never was about him.
I
was just seeing how Maribel was doing. And then we started talking about.
So you basically called Larry.
Who's that?
Yo, this Tex Outlaw. What up?
Salute, salute.
What's good? I'm just catching this commentary. I like listening to Dame, and I ain't want to interject or interrupt, so I'm just in the back right now.
Nah, no problem, man. You got anything that you want to say?
No, not right now, because I seen y'all was playing. I've never been on your channel, but I hit links when they come. I seen y'all had Dame up there, so I know y'all gonna have some commentary on it. So I was just tuning in. You feel me? I support people on their channel and shit like that. That's all.
Absolutely, brother.
No doubt.
But I will have something to say when topics come up, because I'm a conversationist.
Okay, quick question. Do you feel like Jay-Z is a snake? Yeah, when it comes to business wise.
Do I feel like he's a what? Say the word again.
A snake. A snake.
Oh,
business
snake.
wise.
I'll be honest with you, bro. You do business?
Yeah, I do business at times.
And not that you think yourself are a snake, right? But somebody probably thought in the business y'all done, you look more out for yourself than others, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And they will consider you to be a snake, but you don't think you're business savvy or the way you probably conduct it. You think it's business. That's how business is conducted.
Okay.
I'm not always going to agree with you. You're not always going to agree with me. But if you're talking specifically about Jay-Z, yes, there has been
Jay-Z and Dame. Yeah, like the
I believe
Jay-Z and Dame situation.
Between Dame and Jay-Z, I think there have been a lot of snakish, slithering motive and ways that have actually occurred. Yes.
On both sides. So let's go.
On both sides or on Jay-Z's side?
Not too much on, because I was in the 90s.
There's always three sides to a story.
I'm gonna tell you like this. I grew up in the 90s. I paid a lot of attention. These guys were our entertainment before the internet. So we watched the videos when they did the tour. We went to the concerts, the Hard Knock. You know what I'm saying? So we paid attention to their actions and their moves because it was like, hey, if you wanted to be a rapper or were trying to come up with your own business, most likely they are paving the way and you're going to pay attention. So I did pay attention. So when I looked at
Facts.
Dame, though, I felt like Dame was taking them. He was that necessary force. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because there was
Yep.
no, excuse me, go ahead.
He bullied
No,
the
go
industry.
ahead. You cooking. You cooking.
Oh,
I like
no,
that.
because I kind of felt like there was nobody else at that time that was pushing in them doors, talking to these people, like, and then at the same time that he's doing this, he's knowing, no, you need us because we make money for you. You see what I'm saying?
Facts. Because
So
Dame already
so
had that business mindset already.
right, right. Now,
Yeah.
like I just said to you before, when you first asked the question. Now, the way Dame did business, a lot of people that was doing business the way they were used to doing business probably felt like, oh, you're a snake, or I don't like you. I don't like how you, because you're used to getting what you want and telling us everything
Facts.
and just taking. You see what I'm saying? But when you had a
Mm-hmm.
guy that came in and made demands and turned you down and told you, no, my guys ain't gonna do this, and they're no, we want it like this. That's the
Mm-hmm.
change that came, and people were so comfortable with what they were used to doing, they started to dislike Dame. And I think in Jay-Z's
Facts.
point, in the position that he was in, people start, when people can't get you to do things, they'll try to move around you and deal with people around you, and they'll try to divide and conquer. And I kind of feel like
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like what happened in that situation. Opportunities arose that didn't arise before, and they were starting to come to Jay now because they couldn't get no leeway with Dame. And
That's where Leon
that's why
Cohen
I
came
feel
in.
like, right, that's why I feel like maybe the snakish shit started. But then if you ask Jay, he might have said, hey, it's just business.
Yep.
Yo,
But
you're
this is the
okay.
person that actually
So you're
got you
born
into
in the
those
90s.
doors.
So you remember when Cameron back in the day, he said he went on the radio and he said, "I'm going to be
The president,
the president of Rockefeller," right?
yeah,
Remember?
I kind of felt like he would. I kind of felt, but even when I heard it, I felt like, well, it's good for them as
They
a
didn't like
business
that.
because now
Right after
because
that,
now they have different departments within their own structure. You see what I'm saying? I felt like it would probably be some good business, but later on we found out that he kind of jumped the gun and ran with something. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Which kind of made moods and things shift. You feel me?
Right.
yeah, because
Nah,
then
you definitely, that was a great
they
assessment right
looking at
there.
it like, "Yo, you're making
See,
moves
Mac?
without me," and I'm, yeah. We say what we're both saying, He's giving a good perspective.
But
I like that.
gentlemen, what I deal with when I think in my mind is the fact that nobody's going. All right, you know how like people say, real recognize real, or I'm real, and this and that. Your real might be really real in your point
Mm-hmm.
of view, but to the next person, their argumentation of how they feel about your moves you made might not be as real as you thought. But that's okay because that's you. In my mind, I feel like I'm not, as long when you cross people, it hurts people and they get affected. You feel what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And crossing people can mean, because like I always tell my kids, sometimes to hit certain people is in their wallet. That's how you cross them. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
But sometimes words can hurt them. Sometimes actions can hurt them. You see what I'm saying? So your real might not be my real. But once I understand that, I have to place distance because I do know certain things can rub off on you. Now, Dame could
Mm-hmm.
have changed after all of this stuff was done to him, and he's seeing all these people cross or double cross or snake or whatever, and he could have became that because they say that stuff will rub off and you'll have to check yourself. You see what I'm saying?
Right. Exactly.
But Dame is so much of an older guy in his mind that I feel like he
he's
never
honorable.
swayed.
You gotta give it to him. He's
Right,
honorable. You
right.
But
can't say he's not
And a lot
honorable.
of people don't have that. That's one thing a lot of people do not have: honor.
yep. And
It's
I ain't gonna lie, like Dame did a lot of good stuff for a lot of people, but at
About
the
that.
same
I've
time,
only called
the
him one
people.
other time, and that was just
we go.
Oh
We
no,
just
yeah, but yeah, I was
listen
gonna
to
say
a
this real
little bit.
quick, but
Yeah.
at the same time, Dame, the people that was secretaries at the time that are now in power, he kind of did them dirty. You know what I'm saying? Not saying not to the extent of doing them dirty, but like kind of belittle them and be like, oh, you culture vultures and stuff like that. So now that they're in power and Dame is not in power no more, so they're not, of course, they're not going to put him back in the game and stuff. So I feel like, that's kind of where it really messed him up. And
with that, I think it's a difference because I think Dame looks more at, if you're at this level now and you claim to be this boss or this conglomerate of such and such, why haven't you had other people? Which I understand, but I also understand other people too. Some people, like I said, real to some people is different. They might feel like it's not my responsibility. You see what I'm saying? But then he'll feel like, no, it is your responsibility because you're in this culture, our culture, and this is what we're supposed to be doing, and this is why we're not as far. When he was in the game, we was getting far. Look at the history. Look at the timeline. Look at how things occurred. When he was doing things, he was making power moves, trying to get his team to a level. You see what I'm saying? So I understand the mentality.
You wasn't seeing no independent labels on the East Coast like that.
So, right.
No, it wasn't. It wasn't.
They revolutionized the game.
And they started in 94. So you know what I'm saying?
So let's continue and listen to
all right. Go ahead.
Breaking it down.
Try to get him some money.
Right.
But I actually spoke to Larry because I called him because Maribel was sick. And then that's when everything came up. So it was never about money, never was about him. I was just seeing how Maribel was doing. And then we started talking about.
So you basically called Larry to ask him about his wife and he pivoted to that?
He didn't pivot to it, but I was like, oh, so with Cam, like, why is he bugging out? And that's how it came up.
Well, I appreciated that you called me, and the whole family was proud of you. And I just hate the fact that he's lying on you, lying on my family. And again, it's the lowest, most tacky, like low life fight from low scale broke people is when you fight in a way that's not honorable. And, I did this Breakfast Club thing and I abused them. See, that's the only traffic. Oh, here comes your brother. What's up? You want to come get on camera? You want to pivot? All right, let's talk about something different. Let's talk about this. So you've been back for a couple of weeks. And the thing is, your brother was always meant to run our music division, correct?
Yeah.
And it's a matter of time and when and learning. And also, you can tell him what you do. He's an artist. He's a rock star. He's been making records. But best of all, he's a good big brother, right? And my almost proudest moment was yesterday when Dusko started soccer and you were one of his soccer coaches. So your big brother now. Yes, coach. That's coach. That's Coach Boogie. And Boogs, the peace that we have, and you've been, you're around. You're my son. I just don't. You've been in every house, every state, everywhere we've ever lived. I think I've never had this kind of peace before. This kind of happiness and the families together. Mm-hmm. My flex is our family and how close we are, which is why I was like, why would Fredo think that we're so disenfranchised because we might have publicly had situations in front of therapists that we would go against each other in that way, or that you would ever try to play me. And another thing is, if someone ever says that they lie, like if they go get on a radio station and go, I lied to get someone to, like I booked them under a false pretense and told them they're shooting a movie and they really weren't, which is a lie, and then proceed to call other people liars. You never believe a liar when the liar calls someone else a liar. It's just like an oxymoron. You know what I mean? And what you'll notice is people trauma bond. So, you know, Fredo's been through it with me, and Charlemagne and the whole Breakfast Club, and now they're all trauma bond buddies. Pause. And again, I don't want to get you involved, but as a man, I know I've always taught you, somebody hit you, you don't even, what did I teach you about getting swung on?
Swing back.
Don't even think about it since the day you was born, right? So Fredo getting punched in his face by somebody and not swinging back, doesn't address it, beefs with his homeboys, but doesn't beef with the people that actually put hands on him. It's a reflection of the man. So Charlemagne's got punched in his face and ran, and so did Fredo. Fredo didn't run, but because he didn't defend himself and thought because he's hanging out with a bodyguard that he would get a bodyguard, which is our cousin, he ended up just becoming demasculated, and it doesn't seem like he's been the same ever since. But the point is, you see how that affects someone when they get punched in the face and they don't punch back? It will bother them for the rest of their life. And if you're beefing with a man and you call him Curtis, but now you work for that man and you call him Fifth, and you go say things like, I can't do anything till Fifth handles his business and comes back. There's a Harlem pride that we have. You know, there has to be a level of respectability. There's nothing wrong with resolving a problem, but, you know, going against your homeboys for someone you was beefing with from another place, and potentially he could be doing, what's he doing? That's what you doing. You could get eaten by a crocodile. Can you come over here? Cause you know we talking, like we really talking. Okay. Thank you. You know, but the family, you know, let me get off of that. The family is close as ever. And I'm really happy about that. Your brothers, your sisters, we talk every day. It seems like he has a great relationship with all his brothers and sisters. I finally got a girl. After like, and I'm gonna say I have a wife that I have a baby with, and I'm able to have, you know, every second. You see, I pick him up from school every day. How proud are you when you see him playing golf?
I'm very proud.
He's 4 years old.
Breaking all the records.
Breaking all the records. Black girlfriend.
I forgot a black girlfriend.
It's great. And then no disrespect, but it's like, he just the coolest. I think it's because he be kicking it with the Queen of Harlem so much. You know what I'm saying? But again, I'm really happy. And I wanted you to tell everybody what you've been doing out here and what the future is, because you don't need to go on someone else's platform. Thanks, Dusko. We working though. You got to sit still, please. Okay? Or else you got to go upstairs. But you can hang out and kick it with your brother and daddy.
Can I go inside?
Okay, you can go outside. Thank you. Can you believe this? This shit is crazy.
But the spider web's on the game.
So then just get past the spider webs. Don't worry about it. Why didn't you watch this? Why you making that face?
Can I
Come on, you
interject
gotta get on the camera if you're gonna do all that. Tell everybody what's up. Tell everybody what's up.
Dad.
Yes? Oh, you see this to me, Boogie, again, as a father, the wealth is the life that you lived on a daily basis and the time that you spend with your family. You know, and you know, I'm glad I'm getting to lead by example to show you what peace looks like without debt, being able to move when you want, being your own man, and being able to take care of everyone you love without compromise. And that's all I want to teach you, is never to sell out, because money doesn't mean anything because it's man-made. Love means everything because God made it. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, tell them everything that you're doing, because we definitely been working, and your plans for the future.
All right. So what we've been doing is been working on records every day. I got a record with Adrian, CC, Nicolette,
Nicky Licky.
Nikki Licky, and
you got a single coming out?
Yeah, my single with Wes. It's called Dream Chaser. So that'll be the first record that comes out. And then it's been being a big brother.
How's that been?
That's been fun. This is like the most time I ever got to spend with any one of my siblings.
I know, right?
I never had this much time.
Isn't it crazy how dope that is? How much we were missing. We had each other all this time, but because of bullshit and certain kinds of division, maybe me beefing with your mothers, we were never able to be that family and break that cycle. But now we're breaking it, and he brought us all back together. You know what I'm saying? Now, the crazy thing about the Larry situation, and again, I loved his wife. You know, when we came to visit you, we visited her. You know, is that when you initially went to Vegas, it was so that you could go be that man. And I know that, you know, sometimes we didn't see things eye to eye, but I never, ever wanted you to live with Larry, correct?
You sent me to his crib.
Not to live.
Yeah, not to live, but just to go look at the cultivation.
Right. I sent you to Vegas for that. But, you know, you can't get past it? What do you mean, like it's bothering you too much?
No, but there's a big spider there.
How did you get in?
I didn't get in.
How did you come through to get on the dock? How'd you get on the dock?
There wasn't a spider, was off, and then I got on the dock, and then when I was trying to get inside, there was a spider.
All right, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna open it for you, but you can't be scared of spider webs. You just just wipe it. But they are nasty a little bit. It might have bugs in it. Bugs, tell them what else you're doing. I'll go open the thing for you.
Don't let the spider get you.
I'm not scared of no spider. I'm bigger than a spider.
But be careful, but not just. Don't let the spider bite you.
Like I was saying, I just wanted you to be able to try to work things out on your own. And I just felt like he was enabling that. And he was going against, like, again, another advice is you don't get in another man's family business. So if you're friends with somebody or not friends with him and the father says, you know, I would prefer you didn't do certain things, you got to respect that man. You don't go against that kind of a grain. And, you know, for me, and again, I keep saying it's the last thing, but I be forgetting shit. The one question I have that nobody's asking, other than why didn't you swing back and why you don't address fighting back, Fredo, is that if 50 came to Cam months ago before we were beefing and brought up Paid in Full and even offered the position of doing anything with Paid in Full without telling me, if I'm not the first call, then he's a sucker to me. Because I know if 50 came to me and said, I'm doing Killer Season without Cam, and would you want to be a part of it, the first call I would make, even if we beefing or not, I would have called Cam out of respect. But that's called backdooring your friends. And you never backdoor your friends. Pause. It's always a respect thing, and I've always tried to teach you the utmost of what respect is, and I live by it. But, you know, I love that we talk and we communicate. I love that we've accepted each other for whatever faults that we have and been able to move on, because that's what family does. All families argue. There's not a family on the planet that doesn't argue. I'm just smart enough to go get a therapist. You know? And I know my message is harsh, but I be feeling like, you know, everything I be saying realizes itself. But if you want, also take this time to talk about whatever you want to talk about, childhood, history with us, evolution. We're open book, our family, I think, because we don't have a choice. And also, how did you feel when Fredo was bringing up the stuff with Lucky?
That's really the only thing that really pissed me off was when he spoke about Lucky in the comments. All right, like, that's corny. Like, there was no need for that. You already brought me into it, my sister, my uncles.
He said something about your sister?
when he posted the video.
Oh yeah.
But I wasn't like so mad because I was on TV and I was like, whatever. You can easily post that, but to go out your way in the comment section and what he said, I didn't like that. That's what they crossing the line.
Well, that's what bothered me. I'm like, yo, you gonna try to make my children uncomfortable
Hey,
to
Mac.
make me uncomfortable? And that's a low life fight. That's what a flea does, not a fly guy. A
Hey,
little.
Mac, I think he said something.
Mac, I tried to hit you in the chat, because I didn't want you to interrupt or cut it off. So I was asking, can I interject? Yeah, and I think if you listen to what that man is so much on point that he said something, then turned around and showed it with his son, bro. He said, money is man-made. Love is from God. That is what you're supposed to, influence yourself about. His son came over there concerned about a spider, and then they had a brief dialogue conversation. But his son showed concern, showed love, even for, I don't even want you to go over there, Daddy. And I think, and when I was watching this, I was like, these are the things that Dame is not afraid to show. Realness, real self. He said, we're an open book. Now, I believe a lot of celebrities stay out the limelight, and I've always believed this, even before the internet, because I used to feel that, because when you used to listen to music, you used to want to know who that artist was, and the only person I ever really saw show was Michael Jackson. He let film crew, Tupac, exactly, and a lot of artists are scared to show who they are because they know they're not appealing. They have no purpose. They have no honor. They have no real
DMX
cause.
is another person as well too.
Exactly. And if you come across who they really are, they might not be appealing, and their music will start to not be appealing too, because you see a different light, a different person. You see what I'm saying? And you know how for 1 minute I see Jay and he's never in the limelight. He never died. You got a TMZ show. Right. And at first I was thinking, okay, that's like the album Fade to Black. Sometimes you do have to do that because the audience will come with their own narratives and make their own stories. And
it is good to stay a mystery as well too. Not to interject, my bad.
Right, you're right. We're on the same. Well, our mind frames are on the same level, but at the same time, even when I can't remember if it was Charleston White or somebody got on them, Kanye West was talking about his kids or something. You know what I'm saying? You don't see the interjections. You don't see the transactions, the dialogue between how they're dealing with their kids. Like you see this, you see Kanye fighting and having a public fight and letting you know how much I love my kids. Yeah, I make a lot of man-made money, but nah, my family. Now, we see Dame making business moves. And I think that's because I've been making so many business moves with my Harlem cats, thinking we have the same mentality. And then I'm seeing this cross action. You see what I'm saying? So no, maybe I need to make more moves with people in my family, people closer to me that I know it can benefit. We don't see that with like a Jay-Z. It might happen. I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I'm saying you start to see more of, okay, I like that guy more than I would probably like that guy. You can't buy me out just because you did big things in hip hop and you made good business moves and you got a lot of money. I'm still in the same situation. I respect mentalities. I respect values. You see what I'm saying? So a person like me will look at it different when in comparison to the two. Just because one has a lot of money isn't always in the limelight, is more mysterious and he's done a lot of, okay, we're supposed to put him as a god. But hold up. Isn't this the same guy that if it wasn't for him, you wouldn't be in that situation?
Talk about it.
ALX,
It's coming to that point.
ALX usually attract ALX, so Dame and Jay, they're one and the same when you look at it. It's just different approaches from my perspective. But you gotta.
So can I ask you a question? Would you do business with Jay-Z?
Nasty, disgusting.
You asking me or you asking Matt?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
He already asked me that.
Oh, okay. Bro, It depends on the business, and it depends on the end game of what we're trying to do. That's what you got.
Because a lot of people was trying to do business with him when it came to title, and he left everybody high and dry. So I just go for.
But see, this is what I do sometimes, not sometimes, a lot of times. Okay, I understand where you're going and what you're saying, but then sometimes we as people have to put our feet in those shoes of that person. If I was Jay's, everybody's trying to get with me. Everybody's trying to do business with me. Is it going to be beneficial to what I'm trying to do, to the end game of what you're bringing to me, or is it just your clout chasing because I'm Jay-Z?
Right.
Yeah.
So those are questions you got to ask when you do business with people, because you're on a higher stat. You're the main guy now. You're the person they revere. You see what I'm saying? So sometimes you might not want to do business, but if he did want to do business with me, I believe I would have the game plan of that business laid out, because I know where I'm trying to take it to. If he sees my goal, the accomplishment of our business venture, he might say yes, he might say no, and if he does, I'll just have to watch my interest.
Let me ask you this:
that makes sense.
Would you do business with Puff?
No.
You know, I had a lot of ill things with Puff, because I've watched his career, and you know, I do in my heart and in my spirit sincerely love Pac, and I know the turmoil that he put that man through when he was trying to unify a lot, and then he had to get to the spanking because of things had to come and transpire. You see what I'm saying? So I was always really riding with Pac. You feel me? Because the hearts of men is serious. You see what I'm saying? The hearts of men will tell you how they'll do you if they've done others. And we see the test of time of business with Puff and his artists. You see what I'm saying? So that's like I tell my kids, stay out of trouble, because they'll make a record for you starting in school that will outlive that school and become part of your background. You see what I'm saying? And people will judge you and dictate if they want to do business with you based on your background. So I would shy away. I know the things Puff could do, but I know I might get shelved. I know I might be under control. I know my creative things that I came with might be given to somebody else. They might give it to somebody else because they feel this is the person they want to run with my ideas. And then, you know what I'm saying? It's different things that I have to really think about if it was Puff.
Right. Yeah, because he will blackball you. You know what I'm saying? If he feels some type of way. Not saying that if you chose like if you tell him no, be like, nah, I don't want to do this. He's not gonna.
He can't be blackballed.
I still remember. No, because hold on, Matt. I still recall, bro. I remember this, bro. I remember when Craig Mack was I bought Craig. I didn't want Craig Mack album. I bought Craig Mack album thinking it was the Notorious Big album because how they promote.
Because
and it was a
Craig Mack was the guy. He was the one that made it pop.
Right. But Notorious had backdoor too, but they were promoting them at the same time with this little promotion thing, right? And you remember the internet wasn't out, this and that. You had to catch videos or songs on the radio.
They had that video,
right?
With Craig Mack.
And I knew that was Bad Boy. So when I went in there, I remember seeing Scarface. I think it was The Diary, because that's what I bought. I bought Craig Mack. I forgot the name of the album of Craig, and I bought a third album. I think it might have been Me Against the World. It was around that time, because I bought those albums. But I really wanted Notorious Big, but I thought he was Craig Mack. But then when it came out and everything, I was like, when I listened to the album, I knew I had the wrong album. All right. But I love the flavor in your ear. So I was like, at least I got the flavor in your ear. You see what I'm saying? But it was on. I think it was only like a number of tracks on that album. I really wanted the Notorious Big. I had them mixed up on the promotion, right? But what I'm saying is he had the hit single that took Bad Boy to the level to be able to produce the Notorious Big's album and put more promotion into it. You see what I'm saying? And he ran with the Notorious Big. He didn't really run with the Craig album. He ran with the single. And then they were supposed to do another album. It never came. And then that's the track record I'm talking about.
The background of Puffy.
Right. In a cult. You remember
that was a great breakdown. Definitely great breakdown.
Yeah, man. You ended up in a cult.
Oh, we gonna get your assessment of the Tupac and Puffy, man, because it seems like you got a lot of knowledge on that. I mean, a lot of people already know my stance on that, but yeah, I definitely got to hear what your stance on about that.
I'm gonna tell you like this, bro. You are you through and through, right? So if I'm out here in the streets, bro, when I was a young guy, when a lot of times like about around what we're talking about, the music that we're talking about, when I was in there, you see what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
was still that guy that will watch and assess the situation before I move off emotions because I
Right,
don't want to jeopardize my lifehood or my longevity. You see what I'm saying? Some guys will
right.
react straight, jump into it. You see what I'm saying? So even with these situations, this is how I think. I'm not just going to jump in
Yeah.
all in. I'm going to assess the situation. I'm going
Facts.
to really think who's right and who's wrong in this situation before I choose a side.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people don't do that. They just ride with the
You
fame
just
or the popularity or the
you just go for the emotion
whoever they feel like. Right.
instead of
All
observing and
all
think,
I
and
know is
then you
I
choose
know
what you want to do.
Biggie didn't really trust Puffy like that. That's all I know.
Nah, yeah, he didn't trust him
But he
towards the
knew,
end.
but he
Bad
knew,
habit.
he knew if he wanted to get to his end game. See, that's the sacrifices people have to make in everybody's life, the greater
Right.
or the lesser of the evil, right? Now he
Mm-hmm.
probably felt I can handle Puff, but I
Yep.
have to deal with the bullshit and go around. Because if you think about it, how do you think he was getting his copyrights and he was getting his artists and he was right? He had the right. He finagled him, and that's
Yep.
when I feel Puff got upset because he was like, "Damn,
Right.
this nigga
Oh
done figured
damn.
out the game. He done figured
Yeah.
out the publishing. He
He
done
can
oh
fucking
nigga,
out the publishing game. He's actually
yeah,
writing for Junior Mafia. He's actually writing their
right."
records, and he's actually
And so
getting money.
I think Big analyzed it. His Biggest did what I said. He saw, he watched, he observed, he analyzed, and then he came with a plan saying, "Okay, I know how to finagle and move around and maneuver." You see what I'm saying? I can handle Puff. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yep. Yeah,
Yo,
absolutely. And Puff didn't like that.
listen, if you have beef with, you have beef with dudes on the West Coast, right? Are you gonna bring your number one artist that's charting all
6 months
over
later,
6 months later after a rival rapper gets shot to the
and
West
bring
Yeah, I
him
Coast?
never
to
understood that move.
and,
I never
and
understood
bring
it.
and the person
Yes,
that
it makes
hosted
sense.
that party was the ex fiance of Tupac Shakur's.
I
Yeah,
already got
see.
the song call him going back to Cali. It's gonna make, yeah.
That had some
Yeah, I never understood that.
subliminals. And
Yeah,
then
yeah,
and then
you had
even
to.
freestyling Long Kiss Goodnight on the West Coast radio station as well too. So that was a whole problem right there.
And see, there was a question I had on another podcast last night about something with an artist named Mo3 pulling up in somebody else's hood,
Oh
checking somebody who
yeah.
wasn't even
Damn.
from that hood, right? And now here we are talking about something that happened way before that and similar occurrences, right? Why
Hmm.
would you take him to the West? You don't think these people are going to? It's okay. You could be aiming at Suge or Pac or whatever, but you don't think being in the home base, hometown of these people that they're not going to take disrespect? That has an after effect.
And
There's an
that's a
aftermath.
gangland. That's a whole gang
Exactly.
infested city. You know what I'm saying? The West Coast. Like that
Yeah, I
that
never
place,
understood that. I never
that's
understood that move.
LA. That didn't make no sense, man. And then you're flaunting like, oh yeah, we're back on top. We back number one. You know what I'm saying? We got our spot back. That's what they was basically bragging about and stuff. So a lot of
But
people
check this.
felt some type of way.
I'm from Texas, right?
Okay.
And like I expressed on another panel, see, it's a difference in New because my roots come from New York on one side. They come from the South, Mississippi, Alabama on the other side, right? So I'm up there in New York and I'm seeing I'm going through the lifestyle of this and that, right? But what I
Mm-hmm.
knew about marketing, money, you know what I'm saying, and trying to do business is okay, Texas, you have an artist and the people love them, they can sell platinum plus in that state.
Right.
A lot of
Facts.
artists don't
Yep.
sell platinum plus in New York. So if you're
Mm-mm.
coming to where you know the money is in a rural area that has big cities though inside of it, like California, bro, you gotta when in Rome, do as the Romans, or just pipe it down a little bit. Don't get out of your nature. You know what I'm saying?
Wait, hold on.
Because
Quick question.
these
Not
are
to
the
cut you
people that's
off.
producing the money that makes you be successful.
You said in New York that they can't go platinum plus just in New
Nah,
York.
they book shows outside of New York.
Now,
Everything that New York artists do, they
remember
try
what
to
Pac
book.
said? Remember when Tupac said he was like, "Oh, the boroughs." He was like, they be doing the boroughs and everything, but that shit is so small. I studied the boroughs. Remember when
Exactly,
he said at an interview?
exactly, man.
He was like, "Yeah."
Exactly.
He was like, "That's why I had to get out of that mentality of screaming, I'm from New York, I'm from New York,' and all that other stuff because it's so small. Because once you study the boroughs, it's a small situation. Because when you get
But
outside, it's
what
humongous."
will it do? What will it do to your mentality? Because listen to even Dame just said that. We from Harlem. We have a certain,
Mhm. And that's
code. You
small.
feel me?
That's
But now
small.
exactly. Exactly. Now it might be an honorable code that many men in
Facts.
that small borough have, but everybody's not gonna. And then when they start mixing with other people it'll rub off on them. Now they're not honoring the same code. You see what I'm saying? They're seeing
Right,
from a
right.
different aspect. You feel me? But what I meant to say really is that we can test the numbers, and it'll always show that usually an artist blows up from those southern states, the West and Midwest, because once it becomes a hit, they try to sell it to the rest of the America than the rest of the world. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
You can be a known artist in New York, but that's in New York. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Until they blow you up, and then your numbers pick up
Exactly.
because the outside have picked up on that frequency. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I understand Puff doing business on the West, but how you came out there, you still got to have a respect mentality, or just plot it out where okay, I ain't trying to kick up no dust and be too flamboyant, even though that's my my thing. But let me have some respect.
Yeah. I mean, they have false sense of security because they felt like Suge Knight was in jail, Pac was
Sting.
gone, and that, they was
Maybe
basically
they
going on.
would be looked at as punks too for not going. So
Nah, it's not even just looking at us as punks. It's mostly being smart, bro. Because the
No,
thing is,
I don't think so. Pac would just die, bro. You should have more respect, not even to do that. You see what
yeah,
I'm
but
saying?
facts.
how it was in the '90s. The shit was, it was
It
wild.
That's
was
why he's
hectic in
saying,
the
why would he
90s.
even do that? Why would you?
Right.
We know how it was.
They
But
have false sense of security.
these
It
are
goes
the
both ways.
footprints.
We know how it was. So
They felt like Suge was in jail, that he doesn't have the power that he have anymore. And not saying Suge had anything to do with it, but it just felt like they had false
It did. It did.
sense of security.
I'm gonna give you an example. It was a play. Did you watch last night's new episode of Force Power with Tommy? It's
I
the
just gotta
same move
watch
they
that. I gotta
made.
watch that. I gotta watch that
It's the
right after
same
this.
move. It's the same move they made. The first episode, bro. Okay, this is the move. Dude's in jail. The other connect got killed. Oh, we got to make a play for everybody so we can lock down the whole Chicago. It was a play, bro. And it was a good play, but then you did it too boisterous. You came too soon. It wasn't a good move at that time, bro.
Facts.
That's crazy.
Yep. Great assessments.
That's why you gotta watch out for them puffy cats.
Yep.
They're the ones.
And just to answer your question, Mac, nope, I would not do business with Puffy because of why his
Dirty
background.
Flea. And that's why homeboy calls himself Flea, Fredo Flea. And again, a liar calling someone else a liar that's only known for telling the truth. He himself said, I don't know you for lying, so why would I start lying now over him? And the only thing I'm always lying about is something that no one else saw if that person's not on this planet. Because, the thing I said about him and Big L, that shit was true. I put that on everything. I'm not going to just make that shit up. But what I found crazy was he started to discredit Big L and say, oh, he lines niggas up. A nigga that lines niggas up, that admits it, that does it on TV, always keeps pivoting, calling people liars and discrediting them because they line people up. But nobody knows that. And what was Big L going to say? He's not here anymore. So why would you discredit him? But it did happen. I'm sure L told people. But there's a lot of things that he probably is scared I'm gonna say, which is why he's trying to discredit me all of a sudden. But I can tell you right now, that shit is illegal. You can't call somebody a liar that's not lying, especially when it comes to business. And that's another thing. You know, I'm also happy that you're starting to get involved in the overall family office and understanding, and you've been watching me set it up and the things I've been doing for the family office. You understand what's going on with that, right?
Yes.
So setting up these new verticals, all new codes, you know, all for y'all. And everything that happens and every dollar that gets invested, y'all got to know about it. And y'all got to start running verticals. And I'm so proud of your sister.
Hey, Matt, one
Ava,
more thing, Matt.
even Tallulah for finagling the situation.
Go ahead, bro.
Hey, bro, I was just trying. I just want to inform you. It might be my phone, might be because I'm on here with you, but I was just trying to subscribe to your channel, bro. I had to hit that shit like 20 times for
Oh,
it
yeah?
to find word. So I don't know what you got going over here. I like the content, but I'm telling you, I just because when I come, I listen and I get an assessment, and then I decide, yeah, this is somebody I'll
Yeah,
tune
that's
into.
right. Because I be kicking that, I be kicking that whatever it might be, So that's why I don't know,
Bro,
man.
I'm telling you, that bitch would
Mac,
not turn the other color.
Mac, you
I
messing
had
with the small hats? You been dissing the small hats?
I'm telling you, that's word to everything I love. I had to press that thing like 20 times and I'm steady and I'm listening to Dame talk and I'm like, yo, what the hell? What the hell? You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to push it. And it's not,
Damn.
and I don't know if it's something on my end. That's why I just brought it up to
I don't know, man. So the suppression, you know how they do. They got their ways. But we're gonna keep it
And getting what she wants the way she wants. Ava's on a hit TV show. I know your records are about to pop because I like them. And you're a good dude, good big brother. And I see the future. I'm waiting to be a grandfather.
Mm-hmm.
And and our next project that we're working on is our farm and real estate that comes with it, family compound. Right? You been to the land yet? No. Oh God, we got to go over there. Yeah, you asleep. And then we get to work out. You get to see how ill I am at 54. Right?
Yeah. Sure.
Pardon?
Mm-hmm.
Because we've been working out your whole life.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
How much catch did we play? How much I felt like
Still play. Pause. Still
I
play
was
catch.
I was a pretty present pops. As much as I didn't miss a game. I remember you playing at the dog show, and I would have my meetings uptown on Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Team Rock. It's funny how things played out, right? It's crazy where we're at now. Here comes your mom. Like, I love this. This is the office now. And I'm only working with people I love. And this is the messaging that I want for everybody, that this is what I consider wealth. And have you ever seen me struggle?
Nope.
You ever see me in a little house?
Nope.
Why you think they say all that shit all the time? That I'm having such a challenging, but why is it so important for people to think that I'm not enjoying my life?
Because you're the loudest one in the room. People get butthurt when you talk.
Yeah. Or
that's the only way they could come back.
How was that for you as a child? Me just being the loudest person in the room all the time.
That's my normal.
But you're like almost the exact opposite. Like, you know what I mean? You think because I'm so loud, is that the reason why you're so introverted?
I don't know. I'm a Sag. We just sit back and watch.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Sag.
Yeah, I could dig that.
Check. Hey man, they ended it on a good note. He said, "I'm a Sag." I just said that. We observe, bro. We pay attention, bro, and before we make our.
Oh, you a Sagittarius? I'm an Aries.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Oh,
you a Sag?
Jay-Z.
Yep.
So
what are you, Mac?
Yeah, me, I'm a Capricorn.
Okay, got you.
All of us have ways in
y'all
us,
about
bro.
your
But I
money.
think it's up to us to learn who we are, be able to communicate and demonstrate with the people around us. You know what I'm saying? We got to learn ourselves. And a lot I've seen in this new generation, not just in this generation, but just living and watching, a lot of people are scared to be their true selves. You know what I'm saying? Like what I've
Yeah,
learned from Mac
sure.
from just speaking here is he's precise on his questioning. He's not going to just say anything. He's going to think and then speak it to you. You see what I'm saying? So that shows you some type of talent in himself of how he wants to be understood or wants you to understand where he's coming from. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? So in living, you have to deal with, you don't have to always deal with people, but you're going to have to deal with people. And I just
Mm-hmm.
this past week got into a situation, but I known it. I've been told it. I'm passionate about things, and sometimes maybe that's that Pac in me because we all got a little bit of something in us. He said we got a little bit of thug in us. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm-hmm.
maybe that's
Talk
that
about it.
thug coming out, but it's my passion of standing up for myself and not
Yup.
letting you make this
Get rolled
narrative about me
over.
that right, not to be rolled on or rolled over. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But people will take that just like they do with the black female and say, "Oh, you're what's that they say? Oh, because you get loud." Yeah, sometimes it is that, and sometimes they just ghetto. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right,
But
right, right.
it's that like he say too. Some of us got a little bitch in us too. So sometimes that bitchiness gonna come out when we standing
Mm-hmm.
on something. You see what I'm saying?
Facts.
So,
Facts.
but I have to learn, and I'm still learning because it's been like that my whole life. I got to learn how to calm that passion down because some people
Because
don't
you a
take that as
fire sign
passion.
too. You know what I'm saying? We fire signs, so we got that fire in us. You know what I'm saying? And we passionate about us. Passionate about what we stand on sometimes too.
But but what I had to understand and assess is that everybody won't understand that, won't take it for what it's really is, and they'll make other narratives for that could hurt you and hurt you
Mm-hmm.
to other people from the assessment that they're putting out about you. So you got to keep your cool. And that's why I'm sitting here like I'm seeing Mac. So I'm like, yeah, this is a cool cat. He laid back. You see
Yep.
what I'm saying? Which
Yeah,
I
Mac
am
is
majority
cool.
of my time until I get passionate about a situation that I feel like sometimes I feel like we all should be fighting for this right that I feel. But then I understand other people have things in their life,
Different,
they
yeah,
got
have
issues,
different meanings. Yeah,
they got
exactly.
right.
Different backgrounds and everything like that.
And they might be as passionate as I am, but they just don't show it like I do. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Or express
Everybody
it.
dresses different. Like they express differently from other people as well too.
Exactly. You know,
That's a
you
fact.
know, passion is always something. Yeah, you
Yeah,
gotta
Mac.
have,
Mac.
man.
Listen, Mac. One thing about Mac, he's not gonna agree with everything you say, and that's a fact. And that's what I love because if you have everybody just agree with everything you say, then that person doesn't have their own opinion about their own. You know what I'm saying? They don't have their own mind,
Bro,
and Mac
bro,
has
I
his
just
own
like
mind.
bro, and see, I'm an avid like TV series watcher, movie watcher, bro. And they put out this new episode of some show off Apple TV called Pluribus.
Mm-hmm.
And it's talking exactly what the statement you just
Pluribus.
made about everybody having the same mind and how it would feel. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Because they did. I don't know if you're up on that TV show, but it's a new show where they found some code in space, manufactured it, then it got out, and what it did was make everybody one singular. We know everything. We're
It's on
we're not in
Netflix.
division. Yeah, no, it's on Apple TV.
Gotcha.
So we're all one, really, right? But what happened was it was like 12 people on the planet that didn't sync as this one, that all think alike,
Rest
all feel the
assured,
same.
Carol, we will figure out what makes you different.
Oh, you watching the trailer? Yeah, bro.
Rest
I'm telling
assured,
you,
Carol,
it blew
we
my
will
mind.
figure out what makes you different
Figure it out. Why?
so we can fix it. So you can.
Yeah, let's take a look at that because that's some shit I like to get into. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, man.
Fair use, fair use. We getting it in. So everybody in the building, let's
Join us.
let's get it.
Today, we're diving deep into the latest creation from the man who needs no introduction and the mastermind behind one of my all-time favorite shows in Breaking Bad. and one of, if not the greatest
Yeah, this
Oh,
is
he's
freaky
this
behind
is
series
this
in
Better
show?
Call
Oh,
Saul.
that's how
Yeah,
I know it's good.
he made
Better
Better
Call
Call Saul and
Saul
Breaking Bad.
is taking
I watched all that.
us back to his roots. 30 years after getting his start in on the X-Files, Gilligan is now
Y'all can see it.
Yeah. We can see it. We can't hear the audio though.
Yeah, we
I
can
don't.
see it. I can't hear the audio though. But
You
nah,
can hear
Breaking
the
Bad
audio.
and Better Call Saul is that show for sure.
between two, you at least know the basic idea of the show, despite the marketing being very extremely vague. But for anyone out there learning about Platypus for the first time, here's a quick crash course. Platypus is set in Albuquerque because of course it is. It's the same iconic location of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, but it has nothing to do with those shows. The show follows Carol, a New Mexico book writer who is seamlessly the only person unaffected by a mysterious global virus. And here's the kicker. The virus creates this psychological effect of making everyone happy.
I just want you to be happy.
Now, immediately the title itself gives us a sense of what we're about to experience. E pluribus unum, Latin for out of many, one. It's also the motto of the United States, referring to the union formed by separate states, often seen on US currency. But notice how Gilligan spells it. That subtle change replacing the I with the number one is critical, as it hints towards one, a hive mind presented towards the end of this episode. The title also hints at a world where being unique, being an individual, might get eaten up by this contagious happiness. It's about a collective state, but a fundamental shift in the reality that only the most miserable person can fix. And here's the classic Vince Gilligan irony. The biggest threat isn't sadness or despair, but a universal good vibe we know as happiness. Gilligan is probably gonna make us question if being truly happy means losing yourself, or if true happiness is even possible when someone's forced into it. It's control, identity, and the dark side of seamlessly positive force, all classic Gilligan themes. Alright, now that we got the context out of the way, it's time to break down and discuss this first episode. And yes, spoilers ahead, if you all haven't watched it yet, you all have been warned. We open with a countdown, 439 days, 19 hours, 56 minutes, and 2 seconds. As a speeding truck arrives near a station collecting data from satellites. A man hops out of his truck and immediately calls BS on some readings that are apparently freaking wide and periodic. These signals they're analyzing are coming from 600 light years away and could be extraterrestrial. This rare out-of-space signals creates a buzz amongst other astronomers. They share what they believe it could be, as one of them discovers it could form a Morse code split 4 ways into frequencies. A detail we learn more about later. Now, the two men we initially met talk about who or what could have sent this very complex message, but the one guy who found it believes he knows exactly what it might be. Fast forward to another countdown, 71 days, 13 hours, 20 minutes, and 59 seconds, which is a little over a year since the message was originally received. We see a team of researchers and scientists all wearing different colored scrubs to represent their individual expertise. As we'll later discover, they're all working on creating an RNA, sampling and testing on rats, attempting to replicate the message. Now, for any scientific researchers out there watching this breakdown or watching this episode, let's take a look at this board in this scene. There's information about plagues and various combinations of viruses that affect most humans at a young age, for example, HHV6. Now, for those out there that are much smarter than me, does any of this make sense story-wise? Now, we'll later learn in this episode that these scientists and doctors are indeed recreating the signal into what becomes the happiness virus, but let me know in the comments if there's anything that I should be taking away from this board that might be important for the rest of the story that I might have missed. Now we cut to a book reading at a Barnes & Noble. Here we meet our hero of the story, Carol, wearing a green sweater. I want you all to pay attention to the frequency of the use of particular colors in this episode. Now, as I mentioned earlier, Carol's a historical romance book writer promoting the 4th book of her series, The Blood Song of Wakaro.
Waikaro, please, the twins of Waikaro.
We see that Carol has a very loyal fan base who love her and love her books even more. But it's here that we can see during her book signing and throughout these interactions with her fans, you can see the mask Carol has on. It's one of pretending to be happy and proud of her work. and it is slowly wearing thin. Now, later in the car with her manager, who we soon discover is her wife by the name of Helen, it's here we see Carol's true feelings on her work.
That was quite a send-off. I'm sorry, should I know who you are?
Depends. You a big fan of mindless crap?
To me, this is a great example of how this show will hopefully explore the idea behind pretending to be happy. We see Carol creates these books that aren't creatively fulfilling for her, but they make other people happy. It's like others are controlling her happiness, which in my mind is a direct parallel to what we see with the happiness virus later on. But it's also important to note, through the BS of these books, Helen is Carol's support system, the one thing that truly keeps her happy, and the contrast is key. Cut to 29 days, 23 hours, 49 minutes, and 56 seconds, a little over a month since we last saw the researchers in their labs. As we're now inside the United States Army Medical Research Institute of Infectious Diseases. Now inside, we meet two doctors who have been toiling for 8 months on a project that for them has been a major disappointment. Now their goal was to create a sequence that encodes a lysogenic virus. And their test subjects happens to be rats, which shares a surprisingly 92% DNA to us humans, which by the way, may be key to what happens to them shortly. As the doctors prepare to gas what they believe are expendable rats, I couldn't help but to make this parallel. Here are these doctors in a position of undeniable power control, ending lives that have served their purpose. Their helplessness mirrors the very fate awaiting the majority of mankind, who will soon have no control over the virus that takes a hold of them. Now, Dr. Jan notices that one of the rats appears unexpectedly dead. Now, as she's showing curiosity or even empathy, we see the doctor removes her gloves to check on the rat's heartbeat. Now, just as she might be thinking it's faking, the rat bites her, breaking the skin as it scurries off. This appearing dead or actually dying symptom, remember it because we'll see it again in others who are affected later. Jan moves to disinfect her wound, but immediately she's stopped because she has this violent seizure. Dr. D, horrified, shoves her into the safety shower. As the water comes down on her, Jan slowly stops shaking, appearing to return to normal. But then we see it, a slow, unsettling smile spreads across her face. Cut to security guard Mel, who earlier thoughtfully brought donuts for the entire staff. Now we watch as Dr. Jan approaches him, and in a moment that's both intimate and terrifying, she kisses him. This is our first clear indication of how the virus spreads, rapidly and effectively through saliva, particularly via kissing.
Damn.
We then see Dr. D mirroring Jan, planting a smile on his face and affecting the cleaning man with a kiss. This whole setup immediately reminded me of the horror film Smile. We watch as the now infected staff, all smiling, collect samples from their mouths, preparing petri dishes, leaving little small drawn smiles inside of them. And in a final act of mass contamination, we see Dr. Jan licking the very donuts Mel brought for everyone, as the stage for a global pandemic of insidious joy is now set. We cut to day 0, hour 3, minute 6, 34 seconds in to another month later since the virus has officially been activated and spread. We're now back with Carol, who's returned home from another book tour, and she's at her local airport as she has her wife make sure to switch out her books from the bottom shelf to the top row at the airport bookstore. Now, as they're leaving the airport and they're now in the garage, we see that Helen refuses to let Carol drive after having a couple drinks. Seeing the breathalyzer in the car suggests a history with alcohol and perhaps even recovery from Carol. Now, something I wanted to point out is Helen also picked up some gum from the store. Could this be another vector for the virus, perhaps through contaminated products? Or maybe it got in the water source at some point, or it's being spread through the same way it was found via sound waves. Now at a bar, celebrating their best book tour ever, we see more of Carol's resentment towards her books and calling her fans a bunch of dummies.
Oh, how I hate all those paying customers showering me with love and respect. Why do I have to make so much money?
Now, I would be remiss not to bring this up again, but I want to mention the importance of the different colors heavily used in this episode. From seeing colors like yellow, which was key in the promotion of the show, symbolizing happiness. We see a ton of greens, we see pinks, but it's the color purple that takes center stage in this episode and it's mentioned repeatedly. Whether we saw the doctors wearing purple in their labs, we saw Carol's book signing and her pen was purple, even the sand in her books is purple. Now, if you all are familiar with the color theory, the color purple can mean things like royalty, mystery, transformation, wisdom, or even mourning. There has to be a reason for these colors used, especially the color purple. Again, considering this show's deep themes and tackling the human emotions, this choice doesn't seem like an accident. To me, it hints at things like profound changes, hidden knowledge, and a power dynamic that's both alluring and dangerous. Now, back to the conversation about Carol's unhappiness with her books, we see Helen suggest that she put out a more serious book that she's been working on for the last 5 years called Bitter Chrysalis. An interesting title for a book. Chrysalis meaning visible outer transformations and private inner ones, sometimes associated with butterflies. I'm going to go on a limb here and predict at some point we'll see Carol ultimately finish that book. Once she's transformed to something new, either by this season or by next season, especially after what Helen says about its potential impact it can have on others. Now, Helen brings up James Joyce Finnegan's Wake, a notoriously difficult book known for its stream of consciousness style and words from over 60 different languages. Now, its title comes from an Irish ballad about a man who raises from the dead. Now, Helen admits that she never finished reading this because it made her feel miserable, but she also puts an emphasis on her belief that it could just simply be that it made at least one person happy, and that's worth it alone. Again, I think this conversation will end up being fundamental to Carol's journey this season, linking the concept of raising from the dead to not only finding a cure for humanity, but also finding her own happiness and balance. Now, again, it is clear that Helen is Carol's guide into happiness and keeps her going, but unfortunately, that's about to change. Now, just before they step outside for a smoke, which by the way is odd considering that Helen says that Carol has never smoked before, we see a TV in the bar broadcasting breaking news. As it highlights, a airbase is on lockdown. Now outside, we watch as Carol is continuously mocking her fans again as she looks up to the sky. She notices that there are planes flying in a strange parallel arrangement. Now, as Helen encourages Carol to answer some fan questions, we see the tone shifts dramatically. This is where the show descends into a more chilling, apocalyptic, Walking Dead meets The Last of Us scenario, but not nearly as bloody or gory or as violent as those outbreaks. Now, out of nowhere, we see a man crashes his truck. Carol rushes to help, but then we see Helen collapses, experiencing the exact same seizure we saw with the doctors back at the research facility. Carol runs back into the bar for help, only to find everyone inside exhibiting the same terrifying symptoms. She calls 911, but she has no answer. Now, my question is, how did all these people get infected? Did all these people get infected via drinks or by something else? The reason I say that is because their symptoms seem to have taken longer than what we saw when it was transferred via a kiss. Carol, quick thinking and desperate, pushes over the seizing man in his truck, and she puts Helen in the back since she can't use her own car because of the breathalyzer, and we watch as she takes off. The road ahead is pure pandemonium. Flip police cars, widespread destruction, the apocalypse has arrived. Now at a hospital, Carol finds the same scene, everyone inside is infected. Now back outside, Carol finds Helen, briefly comes to, and we see these red markings around her eyes and her nose. As Helen manages to briefly smile, and then, unlike the others, she dies. Now as Carol cries, the infected inside the hospital began to rise, wandering off like zombies. Carol grabs one of them and they all turn around with the smiles on their face. Now the man she grabs kisses her, but Carol remains unaffected. They try to take Helen from the back of the truck, but Carol stops them. The infected all stare at her, speaking in a collective hive mind voice as they tell her,
What the hell is wrong with you people?
We just want to help, Carol.
Now this is important. As Carol's driving in the streets, we see some of what seems to be some unaffected people. These individuals, clearly in control of their bodies and minds, are trying to help an injured person, and they drive away from the infected swarms. We even see the guy who helped them basically blends right back into the crowd. Where exactly were they going? Because to me, they clearly again were unaffected, and they clearly have control over their mind and body. I wonder if they are a part of the 12 that we later hear about and they got away, and we'll see this scene from their perspective at some point this season. Now, there's a couple of people we see who, again, I'm assuming is unaffected as they try to put out a fire on a bus, but they ultimately get surrounded and outnumbered by the people who have the virus and maybe return later as we see Carol driving off. Now back home, trying to collect herself after her loss of Helen, we see Carol struggles to get inside her place until her next door neighbor's kids, who are also infected at this point, try to help Carol by reminding her where the spare key is she placed years back can be found. Now, how on earth did they know that detail? This makes me question the nature of the virus, or the psychic glue as what it's called later in this episode. Does the host retain its memories? Did one of these kids, now a part of the collective hive mind, remember seeing Helen or Carol place this key there years ago? Now we watch in a very creepy manner. We see the kids tell Carol that they only want to help, as we see the rest of her surrounding neighbors offer their condolences.
We're very sorry for your loss.
Now, soon after, the neighbors drive away and a truck arrives to collect someone who, like Helen, didn't take to the virus. Now, what's this all about? What are they doing with these bodies? Are they being examined? What are the statistics? How many became infected versus how many simply died? But the burning question, the one echoing in Carol's own mind and ours, is why didn't people like her get affected? Now, desperate for answers, we see Carol flips through the channels until she finds a man at a podium at the White House. As a message flashes on the screen, call the number when ready. Now, with a couple of stiff drinks for courage, we watch Carol dials the number.
Hi, Carol. Thank you for calling. This must be so bewildering for you, so terrible. All the death and destruction you witnessed tonight, especially Helen's passing. Please know, none of that was intentional. You have our deepest condolences. And to say it again, you are in no danger. You are perfectly safe.
Okay. Now, Carol clearly gathering her feelings and thoughts, but she finally comes up with the most important question, and that is, what the hell is happening?
It's an alien invasion, right? I mean, obviously, it's an alien invasion.
No, it is not.
What the f*** it isn't? You know my name. You know Helen's name. You are talking to me from my TV.
By the way, the performance this whole time by Ray Seahorn and basically following her the last 20 minutes of this episode has been nothing short of incredible. The man's explanation is a masterclass in sci-fi horror. We find out that they're not mind readers, they're not aliens, or at least from this planet, a key phrase that immediately expands the show's universe. We find out they are in fact beneficiaries of the extraterrestrial technology, the same tech that picked up the mysterious signal at the episode's start. The signal is made up of 4 tones that are recipes from
representing guanine, uracil, adenine, and cytosine. It's a recipe, it turns out, for a nucleotide sequence. RNA. We're all one.
How does that work?
We don't know exactly. It just does.
This explanation tells me that they, or us, doesn't truly know the origins of the signal from outer space, which is very interesting. Basically a creative hive mind. As Carol finds out she's currently speaking with everyone on Earth, she learns that some very important people within the government, including the president himself, has passed away. But the good news, if you want to call it that, Carol isn't alone. There are 11 others like her across the world who didn't get affected. Now they tell Carol they just want to fix her so she can join them, yet they immediately contradict themselves by saying that her life is hers. This again is a recurring theme of the show, which seems to be control or the illusion of having control. They want her to be free, but only if that freedom leads to her joining them. We watch as Carol hangs up on the world as they call her back and try to leave her a voicemail where she hears Helen's voice one last time as they tell her they only want to make her happy. Now, let's talk about the 12 unaffected, with Carol being one of them. This immediately sends my mind to the 12 apostles, also known as the 12 disciples. Could this be more than a coincidence? Are we witnessing the birth of a new world order where these 12 individuals, as reluctant, perhaps even unwilling disciples, a new kind of collective consciousness? Now, as the episode comes to an end with day 0, hour 1, 0 minutes and 0 seconds, we're not just left with questions, we're left with seeing the world as we knew it coming to an end, and pluribus, out of many one, has truly began. First off, again, Ray Seahorn's performance throughout the entire episode, but in particularly the last 20 or 25 minutes or so, were just brilliant. She carried us through horror and grief and the revelations of all the things she found out, and again, it was nothing short of phenomenal. She grounded this surreal nightmare in raw human emotions, making me feel every terrifying revelation alongside her. If I already wasn't hooked by everyone involved, this premiere episode just proved to me that I wasn't wrong in having high expectations or high hopes for the show because, wow, what a way to get things started off. This wasn't just good to me, it was a masterclass in genre bending. We're talking about hard sci-fi that makes you think, but also the show has a sense of humor that threads through the tension. It then instantly pivots into a compelling mystery, and then it throws in the chilling moments of horror, and then it ratchets up the drama, and then punches you right in the gut with the surprisingly emotional moments. Now, Vince Gilligan himself has said that there were some key influences on not just this first episode, but the entire season, mentioning projects like Invasion of the Body Snatchers, Star Trek, and also a Twilight Zone episode by the name of Third from the Sun. But as I was watching this, it made me think of some things that came to mind, one of them being one of my favorite shows of all time. Now, the show I'm referring to is the existential dread and the emotional weight from HBO's The Leftovers, combined with the mind-bending, high-stakes philosophical questions that came from Three Body Problem. Now, in preparation for the show, I actually went back and watched that Twilight Zone episode, The Third from the Sun, and let me tell you all, what an excellent piece of television. I can absolutely see the inspiration, not just in concept, but in the implied terror and the slow burn of its reveal. Now, for those that haven't seen this episode of Twilight Zone, which by the way, I highly recommend if you guys get a chance to check it out, I won't be spoiling anything, especially the twist that happens, but basically it's about a scientist and a pilot stealing a spacecraft to escape a planet they believe will be wiped out by atomic warfare. Now, there is a major game-changing twist revealed at the end, and it leaves you questioning everything that you previously watched in the episode. And after watching this premiere episode, I'm left wondering if in some way the twist involved in that episode of Twilight Zone is maybe gonna be implemented in this show, but in reverse. But beyond the direct inspirations, you can feel Gilligan's signature DNA woven throughout this first episode. Now, they premiered episodes 1 and 2, so I don't want to pose all my questions here because I'm sure the next episode will answer at least some of them. And at the time of this recording, I haven't seen the second episode yet, but it will be available by the time this breakdown is out. But with that said, let's talk about some of the questions that I'm left thinking about after this first episode. First thing that comes to mind, why are there 12 people that are unaffected? Is it random chance, or were they chosen perhaps as a control group, or simply because they possess a certain genetic makeup? Will we see the perspectives from the virus spreading in other locations? Will Carol eventually go looking for the other 11 people? Why do some people die when they get the virus? Is there a failure in the transfer process or a incompatibility of the certain host? Now, for those that are suspected, does the host's original consciousness no longer exist? Are they completely voided? Are they not longer themselves, or is it a shared consciousness? Do they retain the memories of their host? We also saw Davis on the podium drinking water, so I am to assume that they still have to take care of the host's body in order to survive. Now, again, a visual element of the show's focus was the importance of colors, purple, green, and yellow. What's the importance of these particular colors? Does it represent the colors that make up DNA or RNA, hinting at a biological nature of the invasion? But then the biggest question is, who are they? Right now, it seems like they sent this signal, this happiness virus, for mankind to find in hopes that maybe if we're all happy, it'll end all things that are the opposite of good and being happy. Because happiness, they seem to imply, cures all things. But the philosophical question is, does it? And if it does, at what cost does happiness fix all things? Is it true free happiness or an enforced contentment? This ties so perfectly into Gilligan's exploration of the dark side of seemingly positive forces. A perfectly happy world free of conflict, but at the expense of choice of individuality of what it means to truly be human. So overall, I absolutely love this premiere episode. As a fan of drama and science fiction and horror,
That's pretty dope. Pretty dope.
Yeah, it gives a lot of questions that you'll ask, and one of the questions I had asked is, you know how like your parents used to tell, because you'll see that if you watch episode 2, it'll show you some things. So I
Right.
was asking, control your anger, because you know, as a child, your parent tries to get you to control that emotion, because that emotion of anger can lead to side effects or consequences and unhappiness. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
And you'll see in part 2 where she loses her cool. She loses her just calm realm, and she goes into this emotion of fit, and it'll cause them to have those seizures again. And she'll find out that across the world she has killed 11 million people. You see what I'm saying?
Damn.
Through those seizures, because at that seizure time, people probably, you know, were doing things or whatever, and it caused an accident or whatever, right? So I
Right.
understand his last question is at what cost for happiness? Do people have to die? Because that's still a question to this day. When politics are doing certain things for the people, they say, but for
Yeah.
their own interest, and then they indulge in certain areas, is that for the happiness of us? But at what cost are people going to have to die or be sacrificed? You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right about that. Cause it's like, basically Trump, I mean, for him, for example, like, he definitely likes he's about business. He's about people working. And if you're not working, then you're like basically he doesn't look at you like you're not basically doing nothing. So the cause of him, he just wants to for him, he likes seeing people that are like that are actually working. So that brings him happiness because actually people are doing the same thing that he's doing, but people are not, what I'm saying, have different scenarios and different backgrounds and different problems that they got going on. So they depend on the government and stuff. So, when he's, for example, like he doesn't want to, see people that are happy and stuff, like, that basically on his time and his type of wave, then he's ready to get rid of them. You know what I'm saying? Like basically, say we don't need them, like they're not, he's not
I
seeing
think
their
I think I think I think what you're saying is he's more on some buck up and get it like us. Buck up and get like us.
right,
You know what I'm saying? Don't settle for what you've been doing, because I can cut that shit out, and that's the cost.
right.
Because some
Right.
people can't just buck up, and some people just can't get on without those benefits and those needs that they need, because that's how their life. But then that's the cost. You have
Mm-hmm.
to you have to suffer to survive, and your
Yep.
survival might just be as long as the ones that are on your level, Trump. You see what I'm saying? But
That's
to get
facts.
to this happiness that you see, Trump, you have set it accordingly. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I feel what you're saying. I get the gist of what you're saying.
Yeah,
I
you
just
got you. Yeah, I just didn't know where it landed, but you see what I exactly what I was trying to say. But yeah, it is getting kind of late. But nah, that's what I was basically trying to say. Like that's his happiness to see people that are actually working and stuff, and then for the people that are not, what I'm saying, depending on the government, then that's not, he just deems them as like, they're not even trying to be on his same wavelength, or he doesn't see their way and stuff. So basically saying like, um for the cause of it, they're going through their struggle and stuff like that, and it's just because of the way how he sees things and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I was trying to say.
Man, what
Well,
you think? You think it'll be a good season based on the first 2 episodes? Something you'll
definitely,
probably be interested in.
definitely, I'm gonna take a look at that.
I
That's
Yeah,
like
that's
things.
actually
I like things that kind of question the mind, make you think. You know what
nah,
I'm
but
saying?
the guy that is producing that show right there, he does Breaking Bad. He did the Breaking the Bad. He did
the
also
Breaking
Better
Bad.
Call Saul. Those are
Those are
excellent
the
shows. So I already know he's on timing.
Yeah, he is, and you got to think this is something totally different. You
Yep,
see what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
something
this
out
is
of
on
the
some.
this is something out of left field.
Yeah, and
Something
you know
different.
when I was watching that
Something
little
you can get
tutorial you
into.
was watching, when I was watching that tutorial, I seen they had the Twilights on. It made me think, right? Like, bro, if they had like a Twilight show every week on some channel that had these crazy stories that made you think too. You see what I'm saying? Because
Mm-hmm.
they started off with some show. I can't remember what it was called. I was watching, and it'd have like a different story every week. But it was like, what was the name of that show? I think it was it Mirrors or something. It was something.
Oh, Black Mirrors.
Black Mirrors. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's on
yeah,
Netflix.
yeah, yeah. See, you a Netflix guy. Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, so, so I liked that show, and it gave me the feel of
Oh, it's a
like a.
mind F. No lie.
But did you notice in Black Mirrors how in some episodes they tied some things together?
Oh yeah, for sure. Like
Yeah,
it
bro.
always comes down to that technology of them putting something in their head. You know what I'm saying? Like basically like a chip.
Right. So it was like I like things like that, bro. And I kind of wish that the creativity of our channels that are broadcasting certain things to our mind for frequencies to think, they would put more out there like that. Because that's what I've noticed in the
Right.
newer generations from me being born. We tend to lack creativity. We tend to reproduce
Facts.
the things that our generation uh produced. You know, the things that the ideas and the things we put out, they're just remaking it. And what's that word they call the reboot? They're just rebooting
Oh, rebooting
our
it.
ideas, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So we're in like we're like in a cycle of thinking instead of new minds coming with
Exactly. Because we don't have
greater.
originality. We lack
Exactly,
originality.
exactly.
Yep. So people just over there just basically remixing
But then,
the
but
originals.
then you
You know
got to
what I'm
think.
saying?
You got to think. Is that a systematic plan? You see what I'm
Mm,
saying? Is that something that they're doing meaningfully because they want to keep us distracted or in a, when people take statistics and surveys, they want to know how people react to certain things. Now, if you want to, like we just said, pluribus, if you're trying to keep them happy, maybe we have to reboot and still keep this same thing, but just in a different way to keep the mind frames the same so that they're steady distracted while we're doing other things. We're just putting out the same frequency. You see what I'm saying? And we don't want the new ideas to come around because then it'll change the format. You see what I'm
facts.
saying?
No, I
Yeah.
definitely see exactly what you're saying. And to bring it to this point as well too, like to bring it to hip hop, man, like you see rappers, they do the same thing that everybody else does. But again, let's bring it back to this. Back in the 90s, it was all about originality. You cannot copy out of other people's style because then you will be, you know, deemed to, the other rappers like, oh, you just a copycat. You know what I'm saying? And
And
you
bro,
got the same sound that I got the same sound from. You know what I'm saying? So it's just
bro,
like you
I
can't copy that.
I am a it used to be in me, bro. It was a part of my I can't say it's not still, but I tend to feel like, man, this shit is played out these days, bro.
Oh
What
yeah,
that
for
nigga say?
sure.
What that nigga say? Like, oh no, your shit is played out. What the fuck you talk about, Willis? You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how I be feeling about a lot of this new music because it's like you say, bro. It has no meaning. It has no real purpose, bro. Listen, one thing I know as a black human, I'm black as a black man of color,
Same here.
growing up in this world, bro. We should not be boisterizing. We should not be bragging about the murder of any person.
Facts.
We should not be promoting murder. You see what I'm
Hmm.
saying? So
Yup.
every time but the thing about me is I love the music so much. When I hear new artists, I still press play to at least
Give
listen.
them a hair out.
Right. And then when I hear this bullshit, I'll be like, see, I can't do it, bro. Because
Right.
it's like a promotion. It's like a protest of do this or you're not hip or type shit. So it makes the artists that are actually have creativity and something to talk about. It's
Oh,
like
you don't
Oh,
like
they don't get
NBA?
publicized.
You don't like NBA young boy?
man, bro. Oh my God.
Nah.
No,
You
I
know,
don't, bro. No.
I
feel
I
like
don't
I
see the
feel
big
like he
go
has
ahead.
I feel like he has a beat playing in his head, right? And he stays with this same little beat that's playing in his head and he's giving it out. He's you know what I'm saying? Because bro, there's nothing that I can say that is prominent to any young youth in what he's talking about. And then you can't totally contradict yourself. See, I look at like I said, the hearts of men and their actions, bro. How do you come with a stop the violence little motto campaign, but during your
But you over here
tour,
promoting murder and
right?
stuff
You
like
see what
that.
I'm saying? Come on, bro. Like a real
Now,
person, a real
granted,
man.
some hip hop artists are like, contradictional because they want to appeal to fans because that's basically what they want to hear and stuff like that. But sometimes the
The
artist is
system,
not really on that.
let me show you something. And that's why I say the system already knows. We've already ran this play. We've been through this stimulation. So they know what it's going to do because they seen Pac. They know that a motherfucker that really stands on what he's and has a purpose and
I was
they
gonna
know,
bring it
okay,
back to
we're gonna have
that
to
for
kill this.
sure.
We're gonna have to get rid of this guy because his alignment is going this way instead of what we want this shit to do and just make money for us. Just be a profitable business for us. Once he start changing the mind frame of his followers and they start seeing the truth, they're not
He
going
had
to
too
go
much
with what
influence,
exactly. And what NBA Youngboy has that same influence, but he has no cause.
but he has
So
no cause. Yeah,
he
exactly.
will never be a Tupac 10 years or
Hell
20
no.
years from now. And they know that, but they're going to use that and give him. It's just like
He
Tupac's
promotes the
mother said
murder
in that movie.
raps. You know what I'm saying?
It's
So
like
like
Tupac. It's like Tupac's mother said in that movie. They're going to give you everything you need to destroy you,
to destroy
and not
yourself.
just
Yep.
you, us. You see what I'm saying? So here it is. If you haven't come to this conclusion or realize this or look at the timeline of where you're trying to go to understand, nigga, when you look back on your career, how much destruction versus how much progress have you made for the people you put music out to the masses?
Right.
That's why I say no, young boy, no. I'll ride with NLE Chopper in his diss song because at least in that moment,
He's letting you know.
he put up a challenge. He
Right.
tested you. That's hip hop. You see what I'm saying?
He
Don't
said
just
you're
threaten me with
poisoning the
shooting
youth.
me. Don't just threaten me with criminal acts and violence, bro. Hit me with some hip hop, bro. Let's keep this
Right.
still what it came from. You see what I'm saying? Don't get in your feelings like he said in the song and get mad. And now you want to send hitters to come hit me because I'm
Right.
speaking certain truths that you don't want out there. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Well,
Nah, that's
that's true.
true. That's real shit. Because my thing. Oh, go ahead, Mac. You didn't say nothing.
So we say we like that LLE Chopper song. That's what we're saying.
Nah, he's saying that he likes the meaning of the song and stuff. Like he would definitely ride with that more than what like NBA is doing and stuff like that. Because like even Ellen A. Chopper was basically saying like you're poisoning the youth and everything and making them crash out dummies and stuff. So that's basically what he was saying. Like that's what you're promoting. And instead of like trying to like because he came with an album where he was basically talking about becoming vegan, becoming eating better, you know what I'm saying? Getting better, you know what I'm saying? Working out, you know what I'm saying? Taking care of your body and everything. So that's what he was promoting and everything. So that's what he's trying to push as well too, while trying to push the music that he is pushing because he still wants to appease to the fans. So he can't just stay one-sided. But I see what he's doing, and then he's also like trying to morph himself to like Pac as well too because he gets the message. So when people like be mentioning Pac, like I already know what type of time you on and everything. You're on the same type of time that I'm on and everything because it's like I get what Pac was trying to do too. For real.
It really was. In a sense, he left so much for us, bro. That's what I'm
Oh
saying.
hell yeah.
It really was me against the world when we got so many trying to put a bar against me that's for my people. It's me against this big conglomerate, industry, bro. It's me against a big world, bro. I'm fighting a world of people against me I'm trying to be more productive for us. We've seen our struggles. You know my history. I've come from the Black Panthers.
You
I've
Against
come
the
from
World
the
was a
Black.
classic album, For
I'm
real.
telling you. I'm
Yep.
telling you. But that's
One of
why I
the
say I
realest
respect.
rappers.
That's why I say I respect what I see NLE doing, even if he's not 100% sincere. It's the fact that,
Facts.
hey, you put out an album that made niggas question this guy. You see what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
put out an album that you expose certain things that is detrimental to the
Young
brutality.
boy, he can rap back. You should be able to spit some bars.
Man, he gonna mumble his rap. He gonna only man. You gonna have to, like
Probably not
Charleston
even gonna
White say,
respond.
you gonna have to listen to that shit 5 times before you understand the first
So
6
why, so
bars.
why,
Sometimes,
why are they going to his
Facts.
concert if he can't rap? I thought he could rap.
huh? Because
He can rap.
the influence that he has on the younger generation of emotions, bro. That's what they
Yep.
use every time. If you can gang the younger Trump does it. Why you think he went with Charlie Kirk and all these people he was saying on TikTok? He was just
Mm-hmm.
against TikTok. Once he seen what it could do for him, he supported it. That's
He
why they put
supported
the
it.
support
Yep.
into NBA YoungBoy, because they know the influence of the young community can sometimes transpire to an older community, like an older guy like Trump, like older guys like us. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So if he has that influence and so many people are listening to him, hey, it's just sales. This is
It's a
all
young
business
man's
to them.
game too. It is a young man's game as well too. Like you, if you could get the kids, then boom, you got a lot of you basically got the game
They're
on
gonna
lock
they're
too.
gonna grow. They're going to grow on you and grow up on you.
Facts. That's how 50 Cent came up as well too. He had the younger artists. Yeah, I mean, had the younger kids as well too,
He's
because
different.
they was all in bulletproof vests and stuff like that.
He came in
And
bullying people and trying to. He came out with
nah,
how to rob.
yeah, but that
This
again,
is
that's basically to appeal to the streets and stuff like that, and that's how he came out of. He's not on that Black Panther tip or anything like that. He told you what he was from the beginning and stuff. He's a hustler, so he uses the rap as a hustle. You know what I'm saying? So that's what he came into the game as well too. So, but my thing is like about Tupac. Listen, that man was a triple threat. Like he came into it where when it was with music. He had the acting down as well too, so he was just influenced
Bro,
from.
bro, I
And then
did
don't
something
get
the
me
other
started on
day.
the interviews.
Hey, Outlaw, I did something the other day. I typed some hashtag in, right? I don't know,
Mm-hmm.
because I just going off mood. Some shit just pop up in my mind off certain shit. And somehow I got to I looked at a hashtag I did, so and it was Full House, right?
Right?
You know Tupac was on Full House.
Nah, he was.
See, that's what I thought I caught everything, nigga. I missed that
Hell
night.
no. Really?
Yeah, bro. Yes, bro. Yes.
What Digital Underground or something?
No, by himself.
What?
probably in San Francisco. Then
Type in Google Full House. I want to make sure it wasn't AI, because I watched the little
Yeah,
clip
you
from
gotta
the
be
thing.
careful now.
Yeah, I'm telling you, these days, like Trump say, false media. Fake
Uh,
media.
Full
But
House.
nigga, I gotta go Google it and put in Full House and Tupac and see if it really pops up, because I know I did a hashtag and I checked the hashtag to see what pops up with it, and I was like, yo, what the hell?
Cameo. Hold on, Cameo.
Nah, it was a whole episode with him in it about to take Tanner's job at the radio station.
Really? Episode.
He was the new like what's that, program director or something?
Uh-huh. Hold on, let me. I'm not finding it.
It might be fake media. If
It
you don't type
probably
this, if Tupac and Full House, let me go get my other joint.
that has to be fake because I listen. I've been on pop for a minute.
Yeah, I'm trying to tell you. That's why I was like, man, is
Full
this some new
House
AI shit? Did they configure
probably
this shit?
does.
Yeah, I don't think it was.
House episode. I don't see it.
Okay. Then it probably was. I was about to say, nigga, that's some shit. Like, because he was acting like he was on in Living Color and
Yeah, he was on Living Color for sure.
yeah, because I thought I caught everything. That was my dude back then. I was like, man, I'm supportive. Whatever he on, I'm checking it out. He
Right.
had
Yeah, I
the
don't see it
actor.
on here.
He could pull you in
But
with
he
an
was at
actor.
the House of Blues. That was the only house he was.
Yeah, that's the only house I
Yeah, I
see.
remember House of Blues. So yeah, it probably was some AI, bro.
Yeah,
Somebody.
definitely probably was AI. But that AI, you gotta be careful with that, man. Yeah,
Yeah, I
they
know,
heavy
right?
with the AI with Tupac right now. For
Yeah,
sure. It's getting crazy.
and
But
that's the thing that changes this new generation, because now they're see things that ain't even real, and they'll believe it's real. You see what I'm saying?
facts. It's dangerous though. I can't even lie to you. Like, say if you get caught up or something like that, then they could just basically try to like, how could I say, like blackmail you in a way.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And you wouldn't even be there, but you look exactly like that person. So it's getting out of here, man. It's getting crazy. But yeah, but I was saying like, nah, Tupac is a triple threat. Like he had the rapping, you know what I'm saying? He had influence with that. Then on top of that, and then the acting as well too with the movies. He had the movies on lock. Then on top of that, when he's talking to you, he's a people person. So then like people could relate to him because it's like talking to your
I he was a
homeboy.
revolutionary. I didn't even
Yeah,
see
for sure.
police, off-duty cops. He
Yeah, he
didn't
had
even.
that gangster side to him as well too, but he was all about self defense as well too. Like
All
he,
that at the age of 25. Come on, now. He was on
I
steroids.
know, and a
You
lot
know
of
what?
the
You know
like
what I thought about that police shooting, bro? And I've always thought about it to this day. What would have happened if Tupac never pulled up in that limo and seen that? Would they have killed that black man? Would they have made that man into some type of scenario that didn't really happen? And just so happened Pac pulled up at the right time, because we've never got an interview from that man. We've got an interview
never
from the
did.
police officers. You know what I'm saying? And they can cover their ass because they're the authorities. But that man was never
He disappeared.
interviewed. Exactly, bro. And they probably did that because that was their plan when they caught that man and Tupac seen the shit. You see what I'm saying?
Mess up the whole thing, and they was drunk at the time too. They was intoxicated, had weapons from the evidence room and stuff, and they wasn't even supposed to be in that district too.
So you already know this scenario is not right. These niggas was doing some
Yep,
crooked ass shit, bro.
because again, they had no cameras on them. You know what I'm saying? This is back in
If
the
it wasn't,
days,
if it
and this
wasn't
is
for
the
this,
South.
if it wasn't for this celebrity just pulling up at the right time, that would have been a probably dead man in the alley somewhere. You see what I'm saying? Framed for
Absolutely,
some shit, you know. But that's the part
absolutely.
they did not look into. But it had always bothered me, bro,
But
because this
Pop,
was the time things was going on when the internet wasn't around and we didn't get to hear and see shit, and shit would go unknown. You see what I'm saying? Maybe
yep,
God planned for him to be. That's what I'm saying. God has a plan.
yeah,
You
he
know what I'm
does have
saying?
a plan. And
Definitely.
but that right there was a double-edged sword. That gave him street cred, and then on top of that, that gave him new enemies, which was 50 states. Cause a lot of the police officers did not like Pac after that. You know what I'm saying?
The biggest gang in America.
The biggest gang in America got alerted. It was like, oh, he got away. He was in the South and he shot two officers, not just one officer, two officers, and got away and walked out looked them in the eyes and walk out the courtroom with a win and stuff like that.
And I believe
Nah,
that I believe in his mind, when he got out that last time, he acknowledged everything you just said. And that's why he knew my life is on the line. I got to do as much as I got to do now. These motherfuckers about to kill me.
that's why he was working the
I
way he was
already
working.
had I already had so many shits against me. Now I got extra shit that y'all not even thinking about. Nigga, this the biggest game. While we
Oh,
trying
and,
to be gang.
and don't forget about it. The vice president was coming after Tupac too. He had the vice president talking about him, trying to take his albums off the shelves and stuff. Then you
All
remember
this
you
for
That nigga say, Mr. Clinton, Mr. Bob Dole, you too old to understand the way the game
had the
show.
game
The
goes.
game show.
Yup. And again, that's a party. That's a party record right there. And he's still dissing the vice president. See, that's why I'm saying like Pac was a different animal. You know what I'm saying? He still had that Black Panther. No matter
Mac,
if he went to Death Row, he was still spitting the same thing that he was spitting on different albums as well too. He just had to
Mac,
change it up.
that's why I say no NBA. That's why I say, bro,
Yep.
because for Pac to be able to initiate certain things against government officials and point out and say certain things and speak on it, some of these dudes will never do that because they fear that. Now you'll
Yep.
stand up and say you'll spin the block and do all this for these niggas that ain't nothing, or you'll get shooters to shoot niggas for nothing. You know what I'm saying? But you're not talking about the things that real people have to deal with every day and the people that are associated with this.
Hey Outlaw, you remember that interview he did with the gun range? What he said? He said, "Oh, it's safe to be, just to be the rapper that just talk about partying and effing and killing people and stuff like that. But when you start talking about government officials or talk about the how we are as how we living and stuff like that and exposing how how the government is treating us and stuff, then you going down the wrong route. You know what I'm saying? That's not the safe route. Being
Yeah,
safe
because
is talking
they
about
want to
partying and doing all this
they
extra
want to
stuff.
keep things. They want to keep things how they want to keep things. You're just a
Right.
tool for us to make money off of you, and that's it. When we're done, we'll throw the tool away in the shed. You see what I'm saying? Once you start acknowledging when you're in this position, that's why I feel like the industry is not putting certain artists in position. They know that, like you say, they will become a threat, and they don't want to have to backstep and do the things that happened back in the day and not just assassinate our character, but assassinate us. And then it leads to, okay, connect the dots again. Now we in conspiracy. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
the way to avoid that is we got to get the guys that can be bought, the guys that'll
Facts.
go along. You see what I'm
Jay-Z.
saying?
No,
Jay-Z.
no, no. This is a great conversation tonight, man. You know what I'm saying?
The NFL.
So
But
we're gonna
yeah,
do this again tomorrow night, man. You know what I'm saying? You know how the Mac will get
we was
down.
killing, we was heating it up, Mac.
I know it's heating up.
Yo, I appreciate this, bro. Yeah, the
Nah, man, this is a
245
great
mark. I
conversation, man.
appreciate you. Hell yeah. I
Shout out
thank
to
you
you,
for letting me
Outlaw.
Oh,
I
no, man.
appreciate y'all for letting me
So,
breathe with y'all. You feel me? This is like
you
sitting in
already
a
know,
cipher
man.
smoking a blunt.
You're
You know what I'm
welcome,
talking about?
man. Outlaw,
Most.
my nigga Outlaw over here, over there. You
Yes,
know what I'm
sir.
saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we gonna bring back the Thugs Mansion. You know?
Already,
Yeah.
I
baby.
still
Hey,
do.
I told you I subscribe, bro. So you know when you pop up and you do your thing, I'm gonna tune in. You heard me?
Yeah, you already know, man.
Yes,
So we
sir,
gonna do,
man. Salute to
you
you,
know,
man. You got a lot of knowledge, man. You definitely
tomorrow.
spit your shit, man.
Yeah, man. Salute to you,
Hey,
Outlaws.
I'm gonna deal
Salute
with
to you. Y'all out
All right,
there.
Mac.
Be back tomorrow. Same Mac time, same Mac channel. Boy, Mac Mizzle. You know my slogan. Keep it real in the field. Forget how they feel. Let's go.
Bow.
to the next time.
Yeah, Outlaw.
All right, man. Yeah, man. That was a good episode. I ain't gonna lie. That was a good stream, man.